Okay, welcome everyone. I just realized there was no audio until now for some reason because OBS messed up my headphone setting for him, so he was just using nothing. So I apologize for the... I assume there was an awkward silence there, but that's okay. Welcome everyone. Another Monday, another salty strive, as always on the Mondays. And top 8 is pretty much almost ready. On the side of winners and losers is almost there. I think they're doing the final match now. So, you know, we're not gonna stall for much longer. You know, as always though, chat, claim those codes. You already had people in the chat opening the link and such. So, I'm gonna show it real quick and we're gonna start the top 8. I'm gonna hand you guys off to my commentators. Actually, you know what? Same as last week.
It's called
Get jump scared. Hello?
And people go around with like these lanterns. And
Hello?
they kind of do a trick-or-treating thing.
Oh,
Damn.
interesting.
Oh, you're just live, aren't you, Raj?
Yes, we are alive, yes. I was like, he just continued the convo, he doesn't care, I'm here, I see how it is.
You didn't say anything.
I mean, no,
I said
you
jump
just
scare.
appeared.
I said
I
jump
did not
scare.
hear.
Oh, damn.
That was negligible.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I don't
think
know.
you're.
Am I quiet? I don't know what happened. Because I noticed
You're
also...
fine now.
Okay,
You're
I
fine
don't know
now,
what
but
happened. I don't know what happened, but yeah,
You
whatever.
had me talking Dutch culture. I can continue.
No,
Yeah,
please
and I
no,
was
please
talking
no.
Catalan.
See, you save that after the stream. But as you guys can hear, you know, for today, we got my 2 goats on comms. And that means I am vanishing into the shadows, as always. Because
Enjoy your
we're just gonna start.
mamusame.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where you got that idea, sir. I don't know where you got that idea. Surely that's not gonna happen. But I'm vanishing. Bye-bye, you two have fun.
All right, thank you. Welcome, everybody. I'm joined, as already mentioned, by Lapsus here to another top 8 for SaltyEU type action. I've been peeking over at the launch here. I'm going to give a quick refresh just to make sure it's all up to date.
I think it
And I'm
is.
seeing, I'm seeing some, you know, some usual names, but also some very interesting developments, which makes me very happy. So, you know, we see PataChu, as always, the GOAT, hopping in. Fabs also had a fabulous performance a few weeks back, so great to see them once more. Pietaa making a deep run as well. Top 8 winner side, always a pleasure to see a fellow Dutchie make a deep run. Zato-1, another staple to the business. And there's a name I'm familiar with, the V-Star R.E.V.O. That's new to me. As well as,
Same.
yeah, as well as Xanderino, so not too familiar. And then we got Son and Scarf, other common appearances here in top 8.
Yeah, Xanderino is a name that I recognize, but for love of myself, I can't remember what they played. But that's not new. Yeah, Beastar rTsuku is the one that say, yeah, I don't know anything about them. I hope to be amused.
Fair. Also, thank you, Michi, to Gecko Scroll, dropping in a big old raid. So welcome, everybody. We're just about to get started with the top 8 action. And, well, since we all got you in this little pause here, might I suggest you head on over and claim yourself a Matcherino code. We are, of course, going to be behind on that, considering the fact that we are only starting in top 8. But every bit helps, certainly now. So, exclamation mark Matcherino, hit the link. Hit the claim code button, sign in if you haven't done so already, complete the process, and you'll contribute 25 cents to the prize pool. It's free money.
Free money, and also we already started in a good pace. Only 36 remaining. That's something that we usually have to yell people after like 2 hours that we still have that many codes. Why are you not claiming? And now, starting strong. 14 already claimed.
Certainly. I think we so most of the people I see on the Matcherino list already here are like seasoned veterans of the whole Matcherino circuit, being like, oh yeah, online bracket, we know the vibe, hop in, hit the claim code button, supports. But then, you know, we always got to do that extra bit of attention to the people who aren't too used to the processes, right? They need to be reminded that this exists.
Yeah, that's true.
Very much appreciate.
So yeah, please go there. Claiming a code is free. You don't even need to sign on to Matcherino. That's the best part. You're only saying, yeah, you can validate me through there. And that's just going to be it. That works. It's perfect in a sense. It's free money for our players. nice to see that big number for the tournament. Yeah, that tournament had a prize pool of like 50 euros. Oh my god, that's a lot of money for an online tournament.
Definitely an evening's work for 50 euros. It's good pay. Just don't count on that being your weekly income.
Nope. That's going to support you for what, like 2 meals if you want to go a little bit lavish?
One very big kebab.
No, because I've seen very big kebabs. Trust me, I've seen those and they are 10 euros max. So 2 big kebabs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, there you hear it, right? So to feed these players their 2 massive kebabs, make sure to hop in and help out. So we're just sitting here waiting on Fabs to appear. PataChu is already ready to rock. I see the Sin character is ready to rumble. PataChu was discussing the bringing back the Alpha, definitely enjoying a lot more and having a little bit more free time to explore the character. But yeah, seeing the Sin off the bat into Jacko as well. Okay, I can understand going for the Sin action there.
I agree, but either way, I don't think that Elfelt is that bad against Jaco. Good range, good pokes, and then when you get injured, those just nuking people. So, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
more consistent and big driver is just get near.
It's still gonna be the premier defensive tool on Sin side, being the Hawkbaker, of course, because one of the main challenges dealing with a little bit of Strive Earth here.
Oh no.
But one of the main challenges dealing with Jacko is when she inevitably has you into the corner, and she's just able to rotate all those goobers on you, constantly setting up very, puppet-esque mix-ups and pressure. It's a desync to start the evening off with. Oh dear.
Oh
so,
my god, what?
Listen.
Is
We
Lord...
might as well just get it
Tell
out
me.
of the way, right? We just get it out of the way. So we'll come back to these players, I assume, right? We'll let them do their 10-minute cooldown, 10 to 15-minute cooldown while it resets itself, and I think we just hop on to a different set. So who else is left on the winner's side is, of course, pietaa and Zato-VaN, which is going to be A.B.A versus Zato.
It's apart from Zato, which is always the odd one out. I mean, we've seen what A.B.A can do. I think everybody remembers certain EVO finals.
Oh, certainly. I think with
But
it'll depend, of course. Like, A.B.A, we know, is an absolute beast with momentum, having the Jealous Rage install, running really fast, able to set all kinds of fuzzies up, do massive damage, insane conversions and whatnot. But when she's in not installed, it's of course a much slower and a much more painful character to play. She still has that parry, right, to be able to try and slide through some things, which could help maybe shift through some of Zato's pressure. But the fact of the matter remains that Zato at times is effectively playing 2 characters on the screen, which means that while you may be parrying the Eddie, for example, it still leaves Zato free to do an appropriate punish to your attempt to escape.
yeah, still, that's what it is. Zato's a puppeteer. It's 2v1, where technically 1 is less than 2. And an avatar should be in the same way, but we've seen A.B.A, even without the jealousy gauge, just destroying people. So
That's
yeah,
true.
I think it's going to... I think it'll be a little bit more lopsided what we could prevent going for the A.B.A and Zato. But take into account, Zato-1 is probably the best Zato still standing in Europe. I don't think I am balling it too much. I think that is true, I believe. But then I don't know how that matchup is going to be, because if not, just imagine the Call of Cthulhu full in and I was just running at you at Mach 5 and you don't have defenses at any form. Oof, that's rough.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's like you say, right? When A.B.A has meter and has just rage gauge, she's definitely a really good spot to just completely run down Zato. But that's just typically A.B.A across the board. I think there's not too many characters that can really stop her. You have to have some really competent keep away game that the majority simply don't have to prevent her. And then, of course, you mentioned the 50 bar ready for the Cthulhu super there just to hold them down for several plus frames where you can then approach for free. So I think the main insight in all this is that while Zato does have defensive toolings like using oppose and whatnot, it all requires a little bit of setup, a little bit of breathing room to access those kind of tools. So when you try to set up in this sense, right, you also have the A.B.A who can equally set up back, right, and just go into a free install, no punish, and run you down. So as the Zato, I think it's about not giving her any room. So even if she is with the Jealousy Rage gauge, like has the yellow neatly filled up, you just want to get in her face as soon as possible and just run your own mix on her repeatedly, either death by 1,000 cuts or one massive cash out through a solid counter hit. But you really don't want to needlessly give her the space unless you've got a situation set up where she's on low health, no jealousy rage, the meter is sparse, she has to make quite a committal to engage, and that's exactly when you can try and snipe her out.
Yeah, I still don't know. It's going to be rough either way. Yeah, true. Rough either way. Damn the one that's blocking duty. I think it's the best way that we can put it. The one that's unblocking duty is going to be damp, but completely. It's going to be rough. We'll see. Waiting for Zato-1 not responding to pings. Maybe the Earth has finally shallowed him. We don't know. It's a total right now.
More likely, he expected probably about 15 minutes to do his own thing.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
now suddenly he's being called upon, which is, it's, I guess you know the name of the game a little bit. It is Guilty Gear Strive, or Strive Earth to others. And the connection problems are bound to occur, at which point you'd want to kind of just be alert in general for any sort of shifts in scheduling to accommodate for technical issues as to not eat up too much time. So we'll see, right? It's a race against the clock. Either Zato-1 shows up on time and then we get to watch this match play out, or the desync will solve itself between PataChu and Fabs, and we will return to them and give Zato-VaN another chance to show up.
I don't know. I'm still amazed that we've gone through the Hackerman era, the first Strive Earth era, and now this. Fucking are trying to do a net code. It's stupid.
That code is tricky. I mean, you would consider just like, hey, spend money for head, get a good netcoder person, but oh, hold on, Zato-VaN typing finally. Sorry.
Okay,
What was his excuse? What is his excuse? Grill this man.
No, for now, there's no excuse now. Okay, coming that he says. But no, I mean, technically, yeah, but there are still a couple of things that I am extremely amused that they decided to do with this netcode. Heartbeat ping to Japan. Why?
Because they only have Japan servers.
Can you just distribute yeah, that's the worst part. Can you just distribute them in a goddamn CDN? Just use a command and say, okay, we're going to put a small Heartbeat server in the main regions. Therefore, you all need to Heartbeat your main region, not fucking Japan.
I mean, that is an idea, but it's also the kind of proposal where you talk to a homeless person and tell them to buy a house, where it's like, oh, just put servers down. So I think
no, I am talking Akamai. CDN. It's not that you need to put servers. You are just renting a very small server in a distributed system.
Yeah, but you need to. The thing is, they need to understand, and they need to find a partner for all this. So it's a couple more layers than just like going for because what would the term here be, like private server, like what you as a consumer on your own would do. The tools we've seen work so far has been in I think in Street Fighter 6 actually. They use Microsoft servers for for their matchmaking, as well as like some other service games use Amazon. But anyways, enough about servers. We're talking about Zato-VaN Zato versus pietaa A.B.A. Already we see the early burst being leveraged as soon as the round start hit connects it from A.B.A. But being chased down a little bit, just trying to make sure that she doesn't get installed too freely. But finally the wall assault connects, and there it is, the full red bar. Overhead is blocked, second one blocked too, and has to mash out.
Way in the favor of Zato-1, trying to mix up pietaa, just going to buy some time. Install. There is the Call of Cthulhu, and well, good blocks.
Pretty decent blocks on both sides. Unfortunately, pietaa trying a little bit too much there into oppose. The great equalizer, the great denier. But still, nevertheless, finds herself a stomp. She's going to go getting a nice install here, about half bar, but that should be plenty to get the kill going. Finally, one of the overheads does connect. However, the wall splat coming a little too early there, so you need to find that final touch to win the first round. But here comes Zato-VaN, and knowing the Zato character, you can quickly just take over in momentum and completely blindside him. But the reversal super is going to close things out. First round going to pietaa, and that went on a minute. They both have their burst back.
Yeah, that's true. It never happened, but also in that same one that blocking duty just send out the super. If it win, if not, man, I was already. And now we see, Zato-1 forcing again the to the install, beautiful air grab, Zato classic, and now what are you going to do while you're on blocking duty?
I should have the forced uninstall to quickly slow down the screen and see what comes next, but now you're still stuck. Looking to challenge with that 6P, using their upper body invuln to challenge. Looking for the command grab at the backdash. Still plenty of meter on both sides, correcting for their choices. The low connects, and just a typical Zato around there. Stuck in the corner, Eddie just making sure that Zato is safe to repeat the different kind of mix-up options.
Oh, good side switch. Up install, that's going to the full carry. Gets the continuation, there it is.
No splat.
Tiki. No splat yet, but there is your splat. There is your super, and we have full jealousy gauge. Hard knockdown. Good job. Good luck there. Okay, Danzai is still blocked. Ooh, beautiful blocks out of Zato. Punish.
Yeah, now it's Zato's turn, but still, fortunately for pietaa, she does have a lot of health to try and survive all of this pressure. Though the issue is being that she now is forcefully uninstalled. However, being one hit to death, it doesn't really matter too much aside from if Zato-VaN decides to take a more distant approach. But yeah, in that case, right, being able to back away, safely deploy oppose, meaning that any Hail Mary that pietaa would want to attempt to try and close it out will not function. Got a bit of meter to play with, but the stomp coming through with the PRC regardless. And pietaa is going to take that first game.
That was an interesting end of the matchup. Very tight, even though both players having access to at least 50 tension was enough to couple of errors. But hey, I think it was way more closer than I was imagining this kind of matchup was going to be.
So far, Zato-VaN has been doing pretty well on the blocking aspects of things, right? Because like the amount of times that pietaa has been able to acquire full jealousy rage usually should spell the end for a lot of people playing into A.B.A. But with some either callouts or just really solid reactions, we've seen him being able to block those insane overheads that A.B.A. has in jealousy rage, and able to claim her burst out, right? You can see a lot of patience, but now getting tagged with a low, stuck in the corner. We see the uninstall, finds the stomp into the uninstall wall splat setup. And we go for the Cthulhu super here.
Probably not wanting to. Yeah, I mean, if you go with King, get the install, so just make it safe. Now, force. There at least. That's something, yeah. There's the opening. Oh, pietaa is. When pietaa finds the moment, Zato-1 has problems. They good out of Zato-1, but when it doesn't, it's difficult for that to exist.
Yeah, certainly. It's been a really big question on can Zato-VaN be super on point to survive pieta's onslaught, especially in Jealousy Rage gauge. But at times, right, that doesn't have to be a concern at all when you're just running the momentum very hard here. Has a full Eddie gauge, means being able to go for the amorphous here to get the wall break. One final hit to do it all. And that's going to be a perfect there for Zato-VaN. A 1 round apiece. Pretty much a repeat of before. However, now pietaa has the burst available. Zato-VaN with his own 50% to try and access alternate burst functions. Early usage, disabled moment of Eddie, but finds an interesting 2S to connect on the ground there. It's going to carry to the corner nonetheless, with the key whiff there, forced to uninstall. And this gives variability to Zato-VaN to try and escape.
The moment now, now we have see there, lock the corner. Oh, but gets a counter hit. That's going to get the key as it is. That a little bit more than a quarter, but the boost for pietaa. For Zato-VaN. pietaa now running. Oh, gets the grab. There's a couple of jealousy. And big challenge there by Zato-VaN.
Oh, but the back throw incident there to finish things off. Willing to call out just a little bit of a... Because like typically you like to see Zato deploy the Eddie there to at least, you know, cover for some options, being disjointed and all that. But the one time that Zato-VaN has taken a little bit more bolder risk by approaching it with just Zato, pietaa is willing to just try to challenge a little bit, because the A.B.A character can take a couple hits before it becomes concerning for the player.
Already getting great hit. pietaa locked in the corner. More openings. A little bit. Not anything worth playing, and now a couple of good forcing pietaa out. Funny for play some time.
Quick confirm, able to find the install now, has him trapped into the corner, looking to end here, but able to safely land on the ground before it gets too disastrous. PRC just waiting out a little bit, trying to go for a throw, both teching with a big 2S counter. Trying to beat the burst there, but pietaa does not bite. Good blocks on that overhead. Pose coming out, looking to stomp down. Still not getting punished for anything. Both players trading back and forth. However, it is pietaa into the corner with the 6P. Aggressive burst, wants to keep her locked down for the time being. Does find a few hits, but the Eddie gauge is empty. Still though, maintaining control. 6P denies an escape. Does challenge on the Eddie, but still just bleeding away health bit by bit. Zato-VaN finding these small hits. pietaa does commit the burst here, believing in the ability to try and finish off the round, but the oppose is going to stop her into the close slash punish.
I'm loving the way that pietaa challenges it, but that such of burst in that round, I am not enjoying that. Maybe just go for Cthulhu, try to lock them. Either way, I am liking the way that it's just challenging. Eddie's moments there. Perfect, just get them coming, but now Zato-VaN is just playing. There is the slap, we have there for the biggest damage. And continuing, this is going to go for Zato-VaN. On.
Yeah, unfortunately, pietaa just came shy of getting her burst back on time to be able to survive that. So Zato-VaN now putting one on the board. So hashtag not free confirmed. Still though, with the 2-game lead that pietaa had built for herself, she does leave open a bit of room here to counter adapt any sort of developments that Zato-VaN might have found throughout the set so far. So there's a bit of room, but she can't let it slip by too fast, especially when you try to get a little bit too eccentric against Zato. You can kind of end up getting tagged by some really big starters where you can really just show you the kind of damage this character can pull out.
Yeah, something like that already. Got reality and now. It's a way to challenge the overhead, but now getting another key grab, just gonna go full reset. Zato on the corner, burst out, didn't want to get anything, then big punish all the transform. There is no more gauge against the corner, full combo, not enough to kill, but rough situation for pietaa.
Yeah, like when you see the 6P using the call out, any attempt to try and go for the leap or just a run forward, being stuck in the corner at that spacing, even without Eddie, it's just Zato-VaN is so ready to clip you and prevent you from just trying to get the comeback mounted. And even then, right, you try to do something fancy, you end up hitting into Eddie, that stalls you out for Zato-VaN to then come in for the punish. And we can see now pietaa is just trying to create any sort of space here to find an install, or at least just try to backdash somewhat, trying to challenge force some control of return back, but spacing and the usage of Eddie here just to be a little disjointed has been so on point by Zato-VaN.
Yeah. So yeah, now we're going on to Tol. Oh, there is the hit. Okay. Key grab, reset, good defense. Zato-VaN still blocking. Grab, just good. There is the, again, another one. Keep them coming.
Ooh, the instant overhead. Doesn't have the meter for the super there for the hard wall breaks, but still, it's going to be getting plenty of Jealousy Rage gauge back. Has a bit of meter to play with, the positive meter bonus, of course. Send out the Cthulhu, and it's just able to hit behind the oppose now. pietaa on that set point. Zato-VaN does have burst available. pietaa a little ways away from the 50% mark, but given time, should be able to find it back unless the momentum is just too strong on Zato-VaN's part.
Now, full round start for Zato-VaN, a beautiful temp. Please raise your hand if you will have blocked that. That's pietaa less than a quarter life. Bull, yes, tension, only have jealousy. It's a very rough situation. Now, Zato-VaN only needs to find one top. There it is. We are going to game 5.
Yeah, very tough. I mean, she definitely shows that she can run that comeback, but I think before, even in like in one of the, I think it was the second game we saw from her, where the way she closed it out was she was able to open with a very significant life lead over Zato-VaN, and then Zato-VaN is able to find an opportunity to really just get his hands on her, and then you just see the Zato momentum happen. But because she has a lot of life in the bank still, she can sacrifice it to take a couple risks to fish for any hit that might find the closing. But now when you're on the sort of the edge by not having any health left, you have to take risks, and risk is what somebody like Zato would like you to do, especially when he has Eddie out holding some of this pressure down for him.
Or you can take the public's option, as Peter asking chat. Tips on the matchup. Kill Eddie, don't let Zato get into the corner. I don't know.
Definitely don't let Zato play, and when you force to block Zato, is to definitely try to survive. There's probably some very niche nuances in between how to deal with different options of all of these cancels you can do with Eddie, but for the most part, it's, you know, he only has the system mechanics to help defend, not even a reversal super.
Yep. Yeah, alright. Hit them.
Yeah.
Get the first strike.
You can see the gears turning in pieta's head as she's looking at oppose and be like, what can I do here? Surely this isn't just a be-all end-all, I can't do anything for the time being type button, and it sadly is. He just stands behind oppose and says, nothing happens here. Welcome back, happy chaos clone. See, it just crawls at you and you can't press buttons.
Yeah, that's true. I think that somebody trying to buy some space, but that doesn't work. Not enough to for an Among Us North Samboy, but still pietaa is looking rough. Okay, blue, that's just going to buy some moments. And the 6P read like a book, and Zato is going to be advancing onto the winners final.
Yeah, so effectively, you kind of see the game plan reflect on both characters a little bit, where they're going to put you in a very scary situation when you're blocking their pressure, and it's really going to be a skill/reaction check of can you survive their sequence while the resource is running, and when it expires, do you have the means then to find an interaction point to then escape? And we've seen more so on Zato-VaN's side that he has been able to appropriately survive A.B.A's pressure, especially in Jealousy Rage, but then when it was pieeta's time to display the same, there were definitely moments of genius, but finally sort of bridging the connection between surviving and then taking your turn back wasn't always fully fulfilled, and then you get into some very variable, scary situations, and the space that's created there alone allows Zato-VaN to simply just go oppose, and now you have a big problem on the screen.
Yeah, that's true. And that's why you never, ever, ever let a Zato player have any breathing space. But now we are going to go back onto our original first match. PataChu versus Fabs. Let's hope this time we don't get another Strife Earth, because, well, it will be time to, I don't know, pay a visit to Arxis networking team, because, well,
I don't think we have to go to
it's
those
been,
extremes yet. We still have a couple loser side matches to buffer through, but I believe usually these things
I mean,
aren't too much of an issue between, or like a consistent issue between two connections, right? It's when we see that, we just see an unplayable lag.
hmm. No, but yeah, the problem is that this is like year 4 this game, and we are still issues.
Yeah,
There are
but
earlier games that are more played this one.
well, I mean, listen,
That got rolled by...
at least you're not BB Tag.
Yeah.
BB Tag got rolled back, and its netcode just absolutely got nuked. I mean, not only that, the game itself got kind of nuked because did you know to actually properly have the game roll back, you need to go into your GPU settings and manually set a 60 frames per second cap on the game. If you do not do this, it will not roll back properly and it will disconnect.
Wait, you have to play at 6 FPS?
No, the thing is, like, fighting games are at 60 FPS. Some fighting games get to be a little special where they run the logic at 60 frames per second, but the visual aspects of it is at like higher, even uncapped frame rates. For some reason, in BB Tag, it sometimes does not cap the frame rate at 60. It just goes over, and then that's just asking for disaster.
Shame. Arxis shame. Arxis shame nowadays. They don't seem to end holds on to time. Either way, we have the second game of this tournament of this top 8, PataChu versus Fabs. Already seeing a burst. PataChu is playing around.
Goodness. Throw beautiful stuff here to start things off with, and just baiting out some interaction there. Good stuff from PataChu. Very strong opening.
I mean, you're playing against Jaco. Jaco after the same so let any breathing space. You just want puts pressure. Don't let them set up minions.
I mean, it's similar to what we saw prior with the Zato versus A.B.A matchup, right? Where both characters are resourced and you want to survive the other's entire extension of resources. Easier said than done, of course. And then you need to find your opportunity to escape. And right now, PataChu is very much focusing on just like trying to control this neutral space. Make sure to be always in a range that he can poke at Jaco should she try to deploy minion. Because the time you decide to go like, okay, let's go full screen, leverage his life lead a little bit, she can deploy these goobers and then really suffocate you on the pressure.
That's true. Your 3P in a sense, checking the lows there, beautifully done. The driver, huge. And the stand deeper. It's different there. And we are seeing it already. Fabs having a lot of trouble to try PataChu.
Yeah, so we'll see if Fabs can find an opportunity to create a little bit of space. I mean, it's definitely not going to be an easy task, as I think PataChu is just going to go pedal to the metal, always try to push in, at least, you know, survive the first opening interaction there, but just already controlling space so beautifully. The 2S now without stamina, however, and Fabs immediately pulls the trigger. Goober is sent out, and now you can see PataChu struggling a little bit, trying to find the space here while he lets the stamina regen. Of course, just like that, the first L going to go into the RC extension here. It's trapped against the wall. There's not going to be enough meter for a hard knockdown, but still, look at the life lead already. And all that stamina to play with, able to get the low crush.
Yeah. second, another overhead that gets better, and now the hit. Complete use of offense. Ruthless as they once from
pokes out, footsies.
stage. Then the foot in PataChu right now is so strong.
It's definitely a very nice side effect of just being relatively proactive, kind of just poking out a little bit in a specific range where you can also see Fabs trying to take his turn back, and it's just exactly that opportunity. He ends up running into a button or pressing into an already active button, and then you get wonderful little neutral interactions going very much in the favor of PataChu. And you can see here this is very heavily being rewarded now, stuck to the corner of the BRC, down to the final hit, using the YRC to just try and escape, but just a fade away, long buttons, big actives, try to not run into a challenge impossible. PataChu is already 2-0 up.
And showing such a dominating aspect of the game. Just I think we already seen Fabs play like interactions. I was trying to send some patches saying no, nope. Game. Either way, we that Fabs can get that moment, because we've seen what can do. I think everybody has experienced it in the order. Well, very obnoxious to play against. Kind of beautiful to watch, depending on your taste. So I like to see that happen at least once. But this is me as a daydreamer. Happen. Let's see if I do something. If not,
Yeah, I think because PataChu is willing to offer a bit of respect on the round start as well. Like, he's willing to play that mind game a little, already starting with the backdash here. And you can see Fabs trying to challenge for control, but maybe instead to take the opportunity to try and get a Gruber going for a disjointed entry. As you can see here, right, he has to pay attention to dealing with the Gruber. However, he's been able to quite expertly dismiss them, and now it's Fabs stuck in the corner looking for that 3K, but never meant to be.
no, that wasn't meant to be. Hard knockdown. PataChu just checking with the lows. Defense ending of the minion, but that's that's enough. PataChu's defense is broken, so not really sent the pressure. Oh, good jump in the grab, but still not enough. Oh, big counter hit, but there's the burst. Full tech.
Nice. Oh, almost had the full whiff punish there, but nevertheless able to find the next hit. RC to extend it a little further, dealing as much damage as possible. However, not enough meter for the super. Could have potentially finished it if it had, and as well as due to it, not going to get the hard knockdown. Still though, positive meter bonus, finds the RC, finds the tap dust, and Fabs able to operate a little bit, and it entirely depends if the Grubers hit the field or not.
At the end, that's the identity. Decent buttons, but once the Goobers are in, just not going to have fun.
Yeah,
now,
very nice. I mean, no. Ooh, almost had the Hogbaker bait there, but ended up pressing a little too much. Up in the corner, navigate it there. Waiting it out, patiently looking for an opportunity to escape, because it is PataChu without stamina. Nevertheless, though, finds a big close slash counter hit, and he's going to be cashing out very early here. Getting that hard knockdown. Positive meter bonus is running, the stamina is recovering, as well as just having so many options to mix. But the run-up throw will do it, and just, that's a grip of damage I get dealt there. Oh my.
Classic mix-up. His family is of problems. Run up, grab. And well, R.E.V.O now do it. Up, Goober out. The hit. We're going to resume driver. One of the of damage.
Oh, the wild assault in. Oh, the friendly handshake, but it's going to be Fab that comes out on top. How Baker whiffed. The burst
What?
baited. Yeah, unfortunately for PataChu. Damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. But Fabs able to put one on the board.
Good job. That kind of interesting situation. Not something that's. Well, I think that's something that regularly happens live. Ay, ay. Yeah. Tend to explain Raj why I am stuttering from the time apart. Me stuttering a bit because I am human. My internet, as you are, is holding by a thread, especially for Discord. I still don't know why.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Alrighty. But we can see the vision here, right? Fabs getting a little bit of space here to deploy the goobers. It becomes an incredible threat, as well as the fact that next to not, like, it's not just simply autopiloting. Like now I have the boys here to cover for my approach. You can see the immaculate spacing he's also trying to employ here. Just try to play out of range, looking for these whiff punishes in these opportunities where PataChu is looking to very much interact and disable goobers.
Yes, and big damage already. Forcing the burst, trying to get those goobers to sometimes, especially with the defense. You've seen it already times. The defense comes working out, but not this time. PataChu is just piling on the damage, and that's a.
Ooh, trading, but it's going to be the knockdown there for PataChu. And a clean shimmy there on the throw attempt, getting a big old counter hit. Up in the corner, no more stamina, but still has 50 meter left, jumps away. Throw is whiffed, the PRC covers for the mistake. Just trying to play it slow, let that stamina recover, but the 3K sweep coming in clutch. Dashes over to the side, mix-up time, good blocks for now, but can PataChu survive the onslaught? The goobers are being sent in. The Shiesty is put on.
Yeah, extra defense. They are going to be staying here for long. Back is out. A bit more pressure against the corner. Oh, gets the air grab, the reset. This is going to be truly enough. 3-1 to PataChu, and what a finish we've seen, Raj. Both Jacker and Raj, what a finish.
Definitely very immaculate control there from PataChu, right? Just really aggressive pressure, and then when there is a time where he has to take it slower because they're at a full screen distance, this is Fab's opportunity to deploy goobers. We can see some very careful dash blocking approaches, utilizing that 5P that does hit pretty high up, right? Typically, you kind of look at that 5P from Sin, and you wonder why does he have a P normal that whiffs on crouchers like that? But you see its function in being a pseudo anti-air, as well as the fact that anything that can be interacted with at that height, he can quite effectively as well.
True, but remember, everybody, if the match no. And Jagger, I'm very proud to announce 2 games halfway done. We are halfway there. Remember, everybody, Xanderino on chat. It's the first link that the bot is going to spam at you. Just click it. They are going to ask you, hey, fancy a login? You're going to say yes, but you are all to give you permission through an already logged in app. That's going to work, and then claim it's that easy. Okay. So go there, click. Already 25 of them clear for 25 releases. This is a really good pace that we have. Aye.
Yeah, certainly. So, I'm very, yeah, like you said, it's very impressive indeed that already over halfway there, and we're just 2 sets in, and we've only mentioned it here in the beginning. So, very pleased to see that we got a bunch of experienced people coming in, locking in, making sure to get these codes claimed up. as we are neatly traversing through the bracket. Now we are going to be receiving our next players, which will be Xanderino versus rTsuku. And this is surprisingly two characters we don't get to see too often. Sol we do see here and there, right? But May has had quite a notable absence in the top 8 side of Salty. Despite definitely how solid of a character she is.
It's very solid cutter, but I agree. It's good while since any made a terror on the earlier versions of the game. Now, a little bit more difficult to see, but let's see what we are going to be enjoying as of right. Oh my god!
From rTsuku have been immaculate, but there it is. You go heavy slash, but again, this 6P is just 3 in a row. Now a little bit of stagger pressure. Catches a little bit of movement attempt there from Xanderino. And we're splatting against the wall. Close slash. Warsi, get off me. I need to be able to play the game. Vertical Dolphin finds the sweep. Escapes the corner. Looking to shimmy out. Utilizing that fast movement from May. Just like that. Able to find these really big hits. And it's very scary when you get counter hit by May, because you can rack up that damage pretty hard.
Yeah, because if you don't remember May, big hits, big dolphins, and if you get, you are more or less forgetting about half your life.
6P from rTsuku has been immaculate so far. Like, just really has been going. Oh, okay, no, okay, good first. I mean, at that point, I might have just let it go, right? Because considering this round, unless you win it, right, you are playing the game out longer, which you can see the burst gauge slowly filling up there for Xanderino, and if that does go to a final round, right, that's more burst than if you simply just had let go of the controller.
But yeah, it is what's going to happen. Both players half life.
Ooh, but an interesting hit there. Getting that meaty dolphin out. Look to punish. Good throw tech, but just the amount of space you can control with these really big active frames on some of these anchor normals. Now being chucked back into the corner. The dolphin. Look at the anti-air. PRC covering for the mistake. Bring it back down to the ground. Big counter hit trade, but going very much in the favor of Xanderino here. Wall break, no super, but just in dire strains here for rTsuku in the health department.
Yep.
Oh!
Trying to bait the boost, trying to be smart. Yeah. That is going to be enough. Xanderino, get the first one.
Surprises me. I mean, I guess that's kind of been the tale of the match so far, being that Xanderino definitely just wants to constantly interact, even to his own deficit. We have seen rTsuku land some really big punishes because of it, but sometimes you flip a coin and sometimes it just lands heads when you finally need it to come through. And that situation being rTsuku at single jab health at this point, right, was perfect for the match.
Yeah. Okay. We are seeing Tsuku pressure again onto Xanderino, onto the corner. We all know how Naxxus and Sol can be. Well, to be fair. As May, and now beautiful punch again. Corner. Grab. Conversion is regular. Beautiful hit. Xanderino was touching a little much Tsuku.
You can see where the interactions kind of fall short there, but getting a big old punish here. Unfortunately, dropping the combo doesn't hold away from the wall. He's gonna have to use the air dash, but nevertheless comes out on top of the situation, gets a nice, decent confirm going, has rTsuku locked in the corner, the DP whiff, and just look at this confirm to come with it. Here comes a great Yama attack. If this doesn't kill, there's going to be really one slight pixel left there for Tsuku.
Yeah, please remember everybody that May is Japanese, therefore deals big ton of damage. It's war. Okay. For out of Xanderino, so still having their own dolphins, just big blocks, and they for Soku. Xanderino, it's not going to be enough. Oh, yeah, it is going to be enough. Damn.
It will do.
But
It will do. Tsuku tying up the set 1-1. I feel like for the most part, what has been like Tsuku's anti-airing has definitely been really, really strong. Like Mei as a character has these really big anchor normals she can swing in the air, especially that kind of make it very tricky to anti-air, especially considering like she comes flying at you and your reactions may not be slightly on point. And at some point, you kind of just look at it like, man, do I really want to risk getting counter hit by this? Maybe I find another opportunity to escape. But no, not Tsuku. Those 6Ps, immaculate.
yeah, I mean, we've seen beautiful counter hits. The damage is amazing. And now, everything that is. Oh, another one! What was you saying? Beautiful 6-piece auto Tsuku. Xanderino just eating those punishes here and there. Another opening. Tyrant R.E.V.O. Yeah, let's go for it.
Final
Pixel.
pixel health here for Xanderino. YRC looking for an opportunity, and there it is, the 6P again. I think at this point, Tsuku has seen the secrets enough. He's like, oh, well, this is an option I have to just look out for, and already is adjusting that 6P appropriately. At times, when he gets a little wrong, you can see that 5P come out and the big counter hit to follow. So a little bit of a tragedy when your only anti-air is, of course, the system mechanic hold forward type one.
Certainly, and once again, beautiful sequence out of the wall. No super, but a lot of damage and the punish. They have grab. Another one. This time gets tech, trying to be a little fancy. Onto the corner. And, oh, Tsuku gets the grab. Immediate pull of health. That's not good, and there it is. No, the body bringer that more than enough to deal 1 pixel.
Yeah, I mean, what's been really solid here from Tsuku's side is, of course, he's dealing with these air situations very, very strong, but as well as the fact that Xanderino kind of does like to interact quite heavily, especially on defense, and you can see some really big counter hit starters that Tsuku is able to get off of just not even like the most extensive pressure. Typically, you're very used to seeing Soul players doing a lot of close slashes to far slashes and just kind of repeating that option while trying to shake it up here and there to incentivize you to press. But in Tsuku's case, he typically gets it around the second close slash.
That's so. But this time Tsuku already forced to burst Xanderino in a better commanding position the last games they had it against the wall. Long enough for Gosawadara, but neither Yamada, but that's still a good chunk of done, but peace. On retainer.
Very nicely done there. Xanderino able to take a round, sitting pretty comfortably on the burst gauge as well. Now it's a question of, can he finish it here to tie up the set? We find a few short hits here from the side of Tsuku. A little bit more patience, but needs to do a lot more than that. Of course, though, immediately you find these throws being woven in between. Back throw to escape, though. Giving Xanderino a bit of control. Big counter hit trade, but in the damage race, it is going to be Tsuku that's going to come out on top if this keeps up. Big counter hit, and of course, smartly so, we do not see the burst from Xanderino, as it is going to be set point here for Tsuku.
Certainly set point, but Xanderino has the burst, and there it is. Used beach ball, not enough, and the 6P once again. This time not even 6P, just jab. That's good enough to get the party rolling. Xanderino against the corner. In the wall, it is Tyrant R.E.V.O. That's not going to kill, but that's a lot of damage. Big advantage to Tsuku.
Yeah, all the 5k check. RC is going to push the damage a little further here and will find the kill. Tsuku closing it out 3-1 against Xanderino here.
Maybe a little bit too obvious, Xanderino, because we've seen too many 6P counter hits.
Not only that, right? It's also just the pressure sequence wasn't too long, and it was just you see close slash, far slash, and immediately that far slash already counter hitting. So I'm not. If it just felt like Xanderino was playing it a little too hastily, just wanting to get out of the situation as fast as possible, get back into the driver's seat, and be the kind of Mei player that really just likes to press buttons all the time, right? That you just keep swinging with your huge normals and the decent active frames that it has, hoping your opponent runs into it or accidentally overextends their hurt box so that you get a big counter hit confirm. These kind of things, but sadly for somebody that is quite on point with their reactions, it's a difficult plan to get started especially when you're approaching it in a very linear sense.
That's true. Because at the end, if someone is truly on point, the last thing that you want to be is predictable, and when you're when you just go autopilot is ABC, ABC, ABC too consistently, you are writing your own death sentence. But hey, still, GG's to Xanderino, getting to top 8 is still not an easy feat.
Nope.
That's for sure. And we're going to be seeing more Tsuku in the future. But now we are going to be on to the other losers match, Scarf versus Son.
Yeah, and these are typically players you'd actually expect to see in the winner's side of the bracket. So to see them be put down here is, of course, a very interesting surprise. Son, if I'm not mistaken, was sent here by pietaa, no less. So C2 and 6 duking it out here in losers quarters is going to be quite something. And gearing up to face off against Fabs is another thing to get to look forward to. But for the now, Son, of course, rocking the Ramlethal and Scarf, the ever faithful, to the Chipp. Two characters that have seen a shift in how they're placed, and Ramlethal leaving her glory days behind. Nevertheless, right, Son is doing miracle work on her. And for the most part, what I'm really impressed when I see Son play the Ramlethal is the timing he has down for these sword explosions to develop mix-ups around that. And you can see the usage of jumps and her her specials that allow her to move quite rapidly to quickly shift left-right, and or just put herself in a very ambiguous situation where it's a lot of guesswork / sharp reactions required from her opponent to block in the correct direction, to not just get scooped up by the explosion. And conversely, you can see that especially in the corner, where Son is able to throw a grab and have it connect just before the explosion would land. So not something people are typically ready to look out for, because if there's a slight shimmy, you try to go for the throw tech, you end up just eating a mad counter hit.
And you don't want to be there. But while we are waiting, because there's no goddamn stage, please let me remember the easy to go exclamation point match, but they're going to link, just click, go into the web page, click claim code. Easy peasy, there's nothing really important to do, just claim your code and help the players. The most important is to help the players, and we only have 17 codes left. This set, that's nuts.
Yeah, we're moving by at a pretty solid pace here, and with little attention to that actually, because typically we put these announcements up and then we don't see too many codes being claimed out, but then as whenever we check back up, it's the number has gone down, and by a decent margin at that. So good job to the gang so far, and who's been claiming codes. Now it's just the final 17, and the math definitely adds up with a surplus of viewers here to make sure that we can claim out all the codes. Currently the players are reporting that they can't connect. However, Son has made it into the lobby. Scarfed is a matter of figuring out if he could. Yeah, try again.
Yeah, Scarf is getting good on the lobby. On the lobby entrance sequence. Yeah, that we all know that it's a difficult one from time to time. People just need to get good. It happens. It's natural. It's normal. But yeah, they're in. We are still waiting for Scarf. If not, we are just going to remake the room. Act like this never happened. Classic, and that should be enough. If not, we can start blaming Strife Earth again. Okay.
Yeah, Scarfed can't join, so we're gonna go do the remake. Try to get this sorted. We love Strive. We love the Strive netcode. We will only say nice things about the Strive netcode in this house.
Yes, but I reserve my rights to rant out from time to time.
Nope. You only say nice things about Strive netcode in this house.
Okay, I'm out.
Holy, a different code even.
This is truly a new space. If we are using a different code, it's a new space. Then the rules.
Certainly. Well, while we hopefully wait on the players to be able to join this time around, something that is always interesting from seeing Scarf play is how he manages movement, which is very much like a central part of the Chipp game plan. Next to, of course, deploying the wire and getting all the cool mix you get from that. But in Scarf's case, especially because there's no real disjointed way for Chipp to make his entry on his opponent. He's just really fast. He does have some really good buttons to go with that, right? Like Far Slash, for example. But for the most part, there are characters that can keep him at bay with their disjointed tools, talking projectiles, goobers, puppets, or maybe even just some really long normals. And to that extent, you can see that Scarf takes a little bit more of a patient approach to the matter, shimmying a little bit back and forth, just trying to keep the trigger finger ready for the moment that the opponent decides to try something, right? Throw a normal out, and you can immediately find him flying in, deploying that Far Slash to try and fish for a counter hit, or thereafter going for a little record string. But he's in there, and the pressure goes off.
Yeah, that's true. The speed sus big bunks. It's a fact that you don't want to get hit by a big bunk. Well, so yeah. At the end.
Oh.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
just light
Nope.
hiccup.
Okay, light hiccup. Poof, because if not, I think that would have been an interesting rant. No, I think we have problems. I think we have problems.
There's problems. Is it another desync?
I don't know. Yeah, probably. Game sticks. Did you get? I think it's a fucking desync. Okay. Raj, put Strife Earth me on the stream because it's already worth it. This is stupid. It's a game that has been online for 5 years. My memory serves me correctly. And we've seen, I think, everything and in between of internet problems with this game.
Yeah, so apparently Zon is still in the room. Just not playing at the moment. Can't join the kiosk either, so Scarf right now just trying to finish off this game as soon as possible to be able to go back to the lobby. Hopefully the connection works thereafter.
I don't have high hopes. When that happens, it's usually a goddamn decent. Because, but yeah, let that this works, because if not, we need to get an overlay for a private overlay for the network of this game, because it's getting more stupid than it's to be.
Let's see. Okay. Very well. Okay, they're both able to hop on the station. No problem there. See if this has any lasting consequences.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
Oof.
Fuck. King hell.
That's definitely
That's
something
a
you'd like to
desync.
see. It's cooked. All right.
That,
Is there any other match you can run? Well, I guess There is still
And winners finals, but we don't want to go there. And there's a losers game that can be played technically.
yeah, there's one loser side game, so at least like we can let it cool off from there, and then the winner of Son versus Scarf gets to enjoy themselves a back-to-back.
Cooling break.
Well, set action, right? They play what they win one and they have to move on to the next one immediately.
Yeah. Okay, but still, shame on Arxis because this is stupid.
Did they?
A game with such a potential and it's been plagued and mired with internet problems since day fucking one.
It's a small indie company. You should say nicer things to them. maybe you can ride the copium, right? Like Guilty Gear Strive 2.0. Everything will be fixed. The entire game, the netcode. I don't know. Maybe they'll delete a character. Just like they'll release a story. It's like this character is now canonically dead and deleted from the game. You're welcome.
Okay, so we are killing Faust?
Huh? Faust does not need to
Yeah.
be deleted, right?
Yeah, but we just think, yeah, this character is canonically dead. That's the problem. Faust is technically dead.
Oh no, he's just rebooting. But actually, you know what? The deleting Faust, we'll do one of two things, right? We'll have either all Faust players quit the game, or they'll finally go back to character select screen.
No, they are going to just get out of here and go back to either Plazar or Xrd.
Well, yeah, but there he's good at least.
I know. That's why I play Faust in Plazar. because he's good and easy to manage for the basic things.
True.
And deals a lot of damage.
And
That's
he
enough
can
for
have
me.
Temkin.
Yeah. I enjoy that because then if I say, yeah, but you can play Axel, I don't want to trade that monster.
Hey, but he has
Right.
he has downwards Axle Bomber.
Yeah, and the dash version is the upwards, but there is a problem. Try to check any Axel combos. And everyone starts with Rens and RC. And I think that's a very small window. I don't know how big it is, but that's
The FRC window for
small.
Rensen.
Yeah,
Good question.
it's a very small window. Just imagine if I have problems with YRC in Xrd for the Rensen and that window is generous, to be fair.
Yeah, how do you pull that off?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I am going a little bit too fast usually because I
Probably.
get I know because I get YRC the chain going out, which is fun.
Yeah.
And then if I wait a little longer, that's the problem. I can find that sweet spot. I am going a little bit too early.
Right. So you just end up like seeing it away.
Yeah, not even sending in the chain.
Unfortunato. Alrighty,
Yes.
Gorilla matchup time. What's happening? We're going to be moving on a little further up in the bracket. So the semis of loser semis here, right? So a top 6 match between Pietaa and Tsuku, a battle of the flag orientation here between two gorilla characters, Sol and A.B.A. Of course, A.B.A. starting it off a little slower, but of course, when she finds that Jesse Rage Gauge install, things really start kicking off. And until then, it's a slow and respectful approach here against the Sol.
Or a throw loop.
Throw in Lupin. Oh,
Oof.
with the
Yeah,
hero
right.
burst though.
Yeah, a little bit too much hero out of her, but hey, if she deems that to be working. But oh, Suku, beautiful. That's the only thing I can say. That was beautiful. Okay, bringer block, but gets there low, and the opening is almost there. Pietaa on the defense. Good blocks there. Stagger pressure there. There's the opener family connecting. DP is also there, and another one. Oof.
Nice, okay, PRC slowed, getting the time stone, setting up for the throw. Just the block for the time being, running up, trying to set up a little mix-up, but just the reactions from Tsuku, not even just like looking for responses necessarily, but more so being able to block out these really fast mix-ups has been very impressive to see.
True, okay.
But yeah, it's a question of adaptation from the side of pietaa so far, and we kind of seen it rear its head a bit in the match against Zato-1, where she can very much safely take, very much control pressure and then find openings that way, because A.B.A just deploys blinding mix. But when forced to try and play it out defensively a little bit, we can see her struggle slightly. Of course, when Tsuku does go overextend a little bit too much with minus frames, get punished accordingly.
No, that's true. At the end, patience, I think it's something that you need to cultivate, and it's not easy, especially when you have a character like A.B.A that is just all of go hard. But we need to see that adaptation if it comes in, but around now Tsuku just being very impatient. There is a counter hit. But
no
this
key
is a
grab
key
though.
grab.
Very unfortunate. Looking for another 6P, but getting whiff punished for her attempt. Stuck in the corner. The stagger pressure is slow but sure. With only one hit on the revolver, able to set up for the throw here. That's an interesting option to go for. Again, the hero burst. But the 6P from Tsuku rears its head once more. Able to secure yet another round, one away from solidifying the lead in the set.
That 6P has claimed more lives this tournament are already on stream than any 6P I've seen in a good while.
Very true.
pietaa is in jealousy rage, but oh, it's a JH counter hit. Already, that's a good break on the momentum. Gets the grab, but that's just not going to buy you a lot of time, and your offense then is and so is now on the pressure. Gets the mix, gets the low, gets the grab. There's no tension to continue, but doesn't matter. Tsuku is just putting the pressure. Beautiful with punish, and there we have it. Tyrant R.E.V. Not enough to kill yet, but that's going to be a lot of damage. Pixel health on pietaa.
Yeah, trying to step on through, does find a quick reversal over the throw, is tagged, and something ends up getting punished for her attempts there. Tsuku now, a 2-0 lead. And it's been quite tricky. Like, we see 6Ps now coming out, but it's been more... I mean, okay, granted, it's... Okay, she's been using the 6P, and unfortunately, it's a tool that can really only function on this grounded situation as a read to something your opponent might do, and Tsuku hasn't really been biting too much into it. Like, it's been more so any attempt to try and go for some kind of counter hit interaction has seen getting whiff punished there by Tsuku, but here's a big opener that he's not all too pleased to see, already using the burst here, trapping her into the corner. Good throw tech, and again the 6P, this time not whiff punished.
Nope, not this time, and pietaa managing to get onto Jealousy Rage, but Tsuku is just managing the storm, only going to get hit by a teeny weeny tiny edge of it. Good bracing there, but also bring the force on in the advantage of pietaa that's going to go on to the next stage with a full bar of jealousy. Tsuku has also full bar of tension, which is going to be an interesting mix-up.
Interesting trade, unfortunately not going to be a pickup, but there we go, finds himself a big counter hit in the air, and there is the master is key.
And the key is king.
So the burst available here for Tsuku, and already winning the quick run-up interaction. Look at the shimmy out, but opts for far slash. Movement coming out from Tsuku there, oh my goodness.
A little bit too footsies there, but now just again putting pietaa against the corner, more than tension. The grab is tech, but another big punish there. 6S is also connecting. That's going to be more than enough. Nope. Hero burst out of pit. I win. There is another round. Yes, but that was a little bit too aggressive.
Still though, able to find an anti-air, installs, RC keeps pressure running, overhead does connect. Enough to wall splat here, not quite. Still though, large X Rage Gate finds the RC, finds the burst no less as well, but given the situation, given the amount of Jersey Rage she has left, gets a whiff punish going, is enough to find the kill. It will be the case, and the hero burst from pietaa comes back in full dividends. That is one game on the board now for her.
Yeah, good sequence at the end. I think that Suku was playing a little bit too much with their foot, if the expression permits me. That moment when was just shimming back and forth, back and forth. Don't let anyone in this game get a moment to think. Get your pressure, get it going. You were doing it so well, but on pietaa side then, beautiful recovery. And we've seen also the really good adaptation there at the end. I'll be paying a little bit more of respect, and also those whiff punishes, beautiful.
Yeah, and of course we don't see too liberal usage of air approaches coming out from pietaa this time, as definitely Tsuku has proven his ability to anti-air that. Oh my goodness! The heavenly mandate. You are going back into the corner and getting the full punish. Tsuku's gonna get that wall break there. Just look at that red bar. That is very unfortunate. And the lack of red bar on the side from pietaa means a forced uninstall. Let's find the 6P though. Stomping in. RC. Keeps the pressure running. Gonna go for these plus frames. Looking for any opportunity, but the 6P getting whiff punished here. Misses the charge dust, but nevertheless has her trapped in the corner with a significant life lead over her. Let's find the 6P. No connection. Again, the whiff punish. There's Night Raid Vortex splat against the wall, and that is going to be Tsuku back on set point here. First available for both players.
Yeah. Very similar on resources, but Tsuku is going to get the first hits, immediate burst, immediate transformation, but that's not going to be enough. Tsuku getting the Fafnir, putting pietaa against the corner, and there it is. Feint into Tyrant Rave. Almost killing pietaa. It's not pixel, but that's it. Only one more hit and it's 2k to the... And Tsuku just closes this out.
It was very, very tight control. Then, of course, really good reactions on the side from Tsuku. Unfortunately, we see the case again where pietaa is trying to fish for an escape there with the 6P, but just the timing on Tsuku's approach has been so tricky for her to get a grasp over it, and then ends up putting herself in situations where she unfortunately gets whiff punished out. Now then, that should have given us enough time for Scarfed and Son to be able to let the desync run its course and hopefully get their match under the way, because the only fallback we have now left is the winner's side match, and if it goes yet another desync, I would not wish 3 games back-to-back on my worst enemy.
I don't know. There are moments that if they say we just need to go full Iron Man and say one after the other, I would go say, yeah, perfect. I don't want to wait that much. But yeah, in this kind of tension, a moment to breathe is more than acceptable. So yeah, we don't want people to go full Iron Man. So please let this work. Please.
This is just a really two solid players here that you just don't want to miss out on an opportunity to watch their set play out. So please let it just work fine already. No early disconnect messages coming up. Things seem to be all right. Already got Son moving, which is definitely a better sign than before. And I think we have a game under the way. Early burst being deployed here by Scarfed, and you can see the check on the movement being applied here. But a big counter hit though, using the burst to cut the momentum short. The explosion finds it just at the very end. The hit there on Scarf jumps away and finds it falling normal. These players are interacting back and forth quite neatly.
Certainly, and we are seeing that tightrope climbing skills out of Scarf, and so managing to find that moment to just challenge it there. We're pushing Scarf back onto the corner. The explosions are trying to lock them in. No souls are back, which means Scarf you just have moment to go. Those kicks. I don't have to buy some spice, but oh, there is the with punish, and that's going to be a full combo once again. We are walking that tightrope back and forth onto the wall, and the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu is going to be enough to send Son to the other side.
Sadly, that super does no damage, but you know, you'll take it for the wall break, of course. Oh yes, beautiful. That could have gone very wrong, but oh, he just died, huh?
Yeah, because Chipp is made out of paper. And Mortal Battle with 2 words is still stupid.
Oh my goodness. Beta Blade to escape. The stagger pressure finds the run-up throw. OTG Gamma Blade deployed to safely approach. Big 6P, been the name of the game in the set so far.
Okay.
You really see Scarf not letting up on the pressure at all, and of course getting access to so much damage thanks to the rope set. The 5P anti-air splat against the wall. Sadly didn't have the meter to close it out just yet, but one last pixel here for Zon before the rounds are all tied up. See, yeah, okay, 6P, good reactions. We saw fishing attempts being made there with that bar slash to try and clip an approach or an extended hurt box, but it came down to just solid reaction checks once again.
Well, early wall splat for Scarf, but taking it with the positive bonus is way more positive for them. There's no more burst on Son. Oh! I'm trying to go for the command grab is a little bit too aggressive. Son trying to fish with that Scarf is just going to get that with easy pick against the. Not enough to go for a super, but still dealing a lot. And also another bonus. And finally just 2k to the GG next for Scarf.
2K2D. Yeah, already pretty strong opening here from Scarf. We haven't seen Zon being able to really be in the commanding seat here of pressure. Like, we see a bit of interactions, a couple hits here and there, but nothing too sort of distinctly from his playbook just yet. And that's been more so a testament as to Scarf just being really in control, being able to put himself in positions to get these buttons pressed, and just like that, also these whiff punishes running as well. Off a blade cross up, and just like that, the aggressive challenge, however, ends up putting himself back into the corner, and thanks to the burst, it is now the turn of Zon, looking to just scratch him back down to the ground. The YRC, give me some space to play with. The 2K2D to the crossover. Gonna be mounting up the wall break here, looking for a reset even, and it's so funny how often Scarf just ends up in a position of one final hit to do it, but no meter to push that damage that he would have wanted.
Yeah, and now he's hitting a full combo into the corner, needing to burst out. Not that would have been a death sentence. And luckily for him, just ran up. It's probably far slash, think. Now full Reka, trying to put Son into the corner. There's a clash. There's no danger time, sadly.
Oof.
And the opening, both, that's going to be a lot of damage. The tightrope putting Son against the wall. There is the break, positive bonus for Scarf.
Definitely played a little slower now in the 6P, beautifully placed anti-air there, looking, did not believe in that 5K to hit, but just actually super hit raw, believed in the fact that Zon might attempt to try and leverage some of these longer sword normals to just pick at Scarf, but just lets it rip. Even then though, he had like a lot of meter to just PRC it in the end, which, you know, came in clutch, right? He needed that last round. RC, that super just doesn't do damage, man. It's so tragic.
It is, but I mean, maybe not full damage, but God's damage. I mean, those many hits. That's a way
Wasn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, at the end it's enough. If not, there's a wall that also deals a lot of damage. And yes, fuck it, we wall super, which is not the best super in the world, but it works. It's very cheap.
Hey, it's about frustrating your opponents. So much time they spent being comboed by you. Now, finally, they have a bit of control. Time to chase you down. You just fling at them with a super on their one attempt to regain a bit of control in the match. Speaking of control already, we see the super being used to break the wall here by Zon. Already a ton of damage being dealt. Trapped in the corner. We use the 6P here to try an upper body invuln through the sword, but it's not going to be enough. Another wall break with the super. Not enough to kill just yet, but we're down to the final touch. The PRC Sets a quick throw interaction, but nevertheless is going to close it out with the low here. This is looking a lot more like the Son we're used to.
Yep. But I would have think that probably just going for Calvados would have been a better day, but Calvados right now I think requires those two swords. It's been a good while since I've seen Ram. But now, oh my god, the pressure, relentless.
There are definitely a few windows to try and escape there, right? I don't think redeploying the rope is all too legal, but you can see the amount of respect that Son is giving over, and
Oh yeah,
a little bit of an error there.
Yeah, a little bit too eager to go for that super, which means that Son is just going to go for a Mortal Battle, deal some damage, break the wall, get the positive bonus, and those swords back, and now Scarf gets another one, blocks the Mortal Battle this time, already learning from that past experience, but could not convert that one. It's gonna get the air grab, but Alpha Blade down missing, that's not something that we usually see.
It looked like a weird OTG type interaction, but nevertheless, reaction on point, finds the air throw. Now, starting off the pressure here in set point beautifully. Already finds a 6P challenge. We see Zon looking to escape the corner, build a little bit of space to run up 6P. Narrowly avoiding each other there, but the jump in here by Zon is going to work. Pushes the damage even further with the explosion. Now trapped against the wall. Sadly, just shy of enough meter to get the wall break going with a super. Just a stare down with Scarf, bold enough to press the throw afterwards.
Okay, Son managing to get out of there, Mortal Battle connecting, and good luck trying to escape that. The burst ace blocked, and Son is going to punch that first game onto the board.
Though quite a ways away from able to win the set. And that time taken to get into that position is only more data for Scarf, who needs that final game to finish off the set. We can see that Zon is definitely taking it a little slower, initially kind of getting 6P to quite a bit. And then after that being converted into near the corner, you can start seeing Scarf deploying some very fast mix that Zon is not able to keep up with. But all of that is a non-factor when in fact is you who are in control of the pressure sequence. So we can see if Zon can keep that up, or if it's going to be Scarf that takes back the reins of the match.
Because right now Scarf already getting that better blade on, getting that DP, and putting Son onto the corner. This beautiful way to play Fuji, is immediately going for the Kagemushin no Jutsu, getting the positive bonus and the knockdown, more importantly.
We'll jump in there, followed by the run-up throw. Trapped into the corner, but a beautiful Mortal Battle able to call out the overhead here. And we can see the immediate health swing go in favor of Son, who is now spending the time to just play a credible threat at a distance. But the 5HS disjoint, the RC notices the red ring not connecting, and that is a clean burst bait there by Scarf, putting himself now on set point. Both players roughly equal in the burst gauge, very low, so a lot of damage is going to be quite permanent here against one another. And we can already see Scarf leveraging on that situation to just set out the resets, build up that red bar difference, finds the super for the wall break. The positive meter bonus is going to be running, and we are slowly inching towards that Scarf 3-1 finish.
Exactly, we are. That's what we are aiming for right now. But the thing is, we are going to go for. There's another super immediately going for after that check. Just saying, I am going to capitalize on every inch that you give me. Confirm everything onto super if need be. There is no more burst on Son's side, and beautiful punish onto the sword was perfect to end the series. 3-1 for Scarf.
So I assume Ratch with a little bit of grace is going to offer Scarf a bit of a pause before he has to hop right back into it. Going to face off against Fabs. See if he can pull off the miracle once more of playing into characters that have pretty good range and a little bit of disjointed pressure to their name. Can he start the pressure machine, or will he succumb to it himself?
We need to see, because now we have the difference between Ram and Jago. Out of the two Valentines, let's be fair, the one that's more obnoxious is Jago, just trying to... I am saying something that we don't agree on. try to play with like 4v1.
See, the thing is, as commentators, this is all very exciting things to watch because we're not the victim in this situation, right? We're not one of the players on the screen. We will not be subjugated to any of this pressure. So we get to watch insane, a 4v1 gang up against the opponent, and we're just clapping our hands like, yes, Bloodsport Entertainment, my beloved.
Yeah, that's true. But either way, trying to remember how to play this game and saying, "Oh yeah, you go against Jaco." Me thinking to myself, "Fuck." Oh, I am not joking. I will say the same against Ram because the moment that I was playing more, Ram was toxic as fuck. And talking about that's not toxic, but that's very good for you. The Macherino codes. We only have 15. Only 15 remaining. We are on losers quarters. So a good chunk of games left to play. Only 15 codes remaining. 70 plus people on chat. Do the favor, do the correct thing and claim that Macherino code.
Imagine not claiming Matrino codes in Big 25. Ooh,
Shame
the
on
people will
them.
know. The people will know. It will go on your
Shame.
permanent record. They will know. Your employer
Shame.
will know.
Shame. Shame. There's going to be a point that we will need to hire the actress of that meme. Can't remember the name. Truly one of the best actors out of England right now. Just going around you, ringing the bell and yelling shame at your face. Because that's what you
Game of
deserve.
Thrones.
And tell us of fame. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think the solution. I think this is many online TO would be very interested in something like that existing. Is some kind of recognition tool. So between Twitch and the Macherino, where if you haven't claimed the Macherino code, there will be no footage for you. You will only hear the audio, so you can kind of just only catch what you're missing out on. But if you want to see, it's just a few clicks away. And of course, once all the codes have been claimed out, everyone else gets to watch it. But before that, right, just incentivize everyone chipping in together, making sure, right, you give it a little bit of that individualism where someone just goes, I want to see the footage. I will claim a code to do so. Almost a pay-per-view type angle, but it's wholesome. It's free money. You're supporting players.
It's like a gift to view. Or claim to view. Claim code to view, yeah. But we can stop messing around for a moment. It's going to be the match Scarf versus Fabs.
Air dash in, we see a little aggressive burst. They're able to lock Scarf into the corner, and this is exactly the type of situation that Jacko dreams about. You trapped in the corner, the Goober's deployed, so we can see Scarf deploying all those extra movement options, as well as the run speed there to escape from the Hell Zone. And just like that, able to drag Fabs all the way into the corner. Unfortunately, dropping the overhead portion of the Rekka, and there's the backdrop instant. You were trapped once more, but here is Elysium Driver to alleviate you of your corner troubles at the cost of positive meter bonus and his hard knockdown in the mid-screen.
You are not trapped here with me. Yeah, well, you know what I meant. Yeah, my brain fogging up for a moment.
Oh, a little bit of hitbox interactions with one another, whiffing cleanly, but a big 2D. Slowly drag Fabs into the corner. We see a couple attempts to press out, but the aggressive burst, the momentum is desired by Scarf. Overhead block, but PRC to cover for it, finds the low. A few hits, deploys the rope. As the mix finds the corner. And naturally, going for a corner steal with the burst available on your opponent does mean you're at risk of being stabbed, placed in the corner yourself.
Yeah, the mix was trying to go for an aggressive boost, but that doesn't work, which means that Scarf is just going to go for the super. Enough damage has been dealt. Let's just send it. And with that, 1-0 for Scarf. My Hero Macadamia.
the boundless creativity of username development. We will not be
Huh.
reading Fabs' name out loud on stream. But so far, a very solid start here. I think what is already spelling for a very positive little set here for Scarf is being able to escape these Jacko pressure sequences, right? Because that is where things can really get out of hand if you do not understand what you need to do to try and escape from here. As Jacko can really just overwhelm you, baiting out the beta blade and playing with his food here, unfortunately.
Yeah, trying to set up a bomb setup, but doesn't work at the end. Just 5k, 5p into the 6k. That's going to be enough. And Fab just trying to set up those minions, the goobers, the little ones, but Scarf is just too slippery to contain. It's just zooming around. There's another going for reset to reset. Beautiful sequence. We're going to see another full coast to coast. Oh, but misses the last parts of the Reka.
So Shiesty is on. He's really here to stay, able to block out the YRC for far enough. Still though, able to roll away from the corners. Has a bit of time left on the goobers, but mask is off. Still though, a lot of them on the screen. Beautiful JD finds the silver lining through all of that to be able to just get a hit threaded through. Now though, Fabs look to finish it off or get that burst out from Scarf. Does that indeed. It can be potentially even finish it. Runs away to full screen, but you can see the chase down on the rope. Scarf finds the hit, though he is down a burst now, and Fabs in a pretty good spot here to try and lead the momentum to tie up the set.
Yeah, beautiful position, but now Scarf, as we said before, no burst, and Fab having all the burst at their fingertips. Scarf trying to play a little bit, going to put Fab onto the corner, burst is still there, ready to go, but nope, not yet. Still playing around, throwing jabs, trying to poke each other, trying to find the moment, and there is the moment. Fab gets the confirm, sends the goober against the wall. Yellow out of Scarf, but that's not going to be enough. Once again, back onto the wall.
Oh, there's the tap dust. RC to push the damage a little further. Is it enough before the wall splat? It will be, and Fabs able to put one on the board, tying up the set, one apiece. Beautiful stuff there. And also just getting that wall splat as the burst was coming up is the kind of thing you definitely don't want to see when you get thrown through the wall.
It's the mental stuck, my friend. You need to survive, you need to endure it, you need to master it.
Oh, absolutely.
Master your tilt, become the only one responsible for your actions.
Shoutouts to Master Yi. Master yourself, master the enemy.
I was going more for the poem of the Invictus movie, Mandela.
Early burst being deployed by both players now. Finds a sweep there on the backdash. The goobers are on the field, and this makes definitely a chore for Scarf to find his entry. Hit by the sandwich here. Bye-bye. Dismissed, but still PRC in control. Scarf looking for any little bit of space to try and really evaluate how he's going to plan his next approach. Finds the jump in. Able to get a really clean confirm there, setting up for the rope deploy, having Fabs trapped in the corner, but these blocks, so far, so good. On point, able to jump away, but doesn't have to commit just yet. Still, hasn't found an opportunity to really take the turn back. That is enough for Scarf to re-engage, find the overhead, and go into the Xanderino, hoping for the kill right here.
Enough. That is enough. Scarf with a dominant position right now, but Fab is going to get back the burst in a second and also get a big counter hit. He's going to get a beautiful setup. DP out for Scarf, but that's not enough. A second one! Trying to impose dominance. Roman trying to set up, trying to bait that burst. No burst yet, another counter hit, and there's the burst out of Fab. Let's see how the things are going to be developing for now that there's no more defensive tools on Fab's side. On the contrary, Scarf has access to burst and the wild assault if need be, and that's not, which is not going to be, but this puts Scarf 2-1 over Fabs.
Yeah, just really good control. We can see Fab surviving some of these pressure sequences, but to regain positioning on the screen has been kind of a struggle, especially in that last round where you do see Scarf back off a little bit, but not enough to really go back at a distance where Fabs can then try to deploy goobers and resume a pressure. And the slight apprehension that he had was enough for Scarf to just re-engage and then finally chuck out that overhead, which was the finishing blow there. So Scarf now 1 game away from moving on to that losers finals. Already using the early burst there to capitalize on the momentum. Has Fabs locked in the corner. Patient so far. Not pressing too much, but just at the times that he would want to try something. There comes Scarf there with a big old button. Now though, Uber deployed, immediately checks one out of the screen. Trying to chase down, finds the sweep, has the knockdown. Pushing Fabs towards the corner and gets the run-up throw. The RC, we're gonna go the other side actually.
Yeah, going to the other side, another cross up there, going high off the tightrope. Oh, but good check there by Fabs, checking the clone, but that's not enough. Another tightrope situation. Beautiful blocks, but there is a limit. No! Gets the grab! Gets the back throw incident! Another one! To add salt to the wound! And that's not enough to kill, but that was a good chunk of damage onto Scarf.
A really scary mix-up that Scarf ends up blocking in the end, but being able to confirm, I'm gonna go into the super, and this time it will actually be enough to kill. Scarfed on set point, both players relatively close to each other on the burst gauge though. It's gonna be a bit of lasting damage before that comes up and becomes an option. Fabs finds a knockdown, gets a clean blue mix-up going, sets up for the sandwich with the goober. However, it gets checked away. We can see some careful jump-ins here planned by Scarf to first remove the obstacles in the way before getting to deal with the primary enemy.
Certainly now Scarf already locked onto the corner. The Goober defense engaged for Fabs, but Scarf is just going to get out of there. Alpha Blade finds some space, but not enough. Once again onto the defense and just getting the minions all over them.
Very tricky though. Chance for Fabs to try and round up the set here. You can see already a very big starter going the way of Scarf. Super cash out here for the wall break, generating that positive meter bonus, and Fabs slowly getting to a very dire spot. The burst is a little ways away, and depending on the amount of interactions that happen here, may not even be able to recover it in time. Finds quick drop, challenges to escape with the aggressive burst. I like it from Scarf. Right, keep him locked in the corner of the throat to find the kill, and indeed the burst will not be coming up in time. Scarf closes it out 3-1 here against Fabs. Moving on to loser semifinals.
And beautifully done on Scarf's side. That was indeed a sequence, and yes, moving on to that losers semifinals against Tsuku. We're going to be seeing a season 1 special back-to-back. That's Sol versus Chipp. I think we're going to go probably. Yes, we are going to winners finals. Give it a moment. We need to go back onto the winner's side. That's once again going to be PataChu versus Zato-1. And while we are waiting, which I hope it's not going to be too much, continue claiming those clicks, clicking them claiming them Macherino codes.
You were right.
Nope.
You had a bit of a stroke there.
I mean, no, I don't have a stroke, but my mind is not translating well today, which is a shame.
Happens.
Yeah. But still, fucking shame that I know what I want to say, but my mind say nope. Okay, another one. Only 12. Okay. That's getting better. 12 codes claimed. Damn. Not my finest hour, this one.
It does occur. But we're going to be having PataChu versus Zato-VaN hopping on next. Zato-VaN already ready on the plate, repping that Zato, as the name implies. And it's quite of a doozy bit of a character, though into the likes of Sin with the range control at his disposal does make it for quite a challenge to simply deploy Eddie and to run the game plan from there. So there is going to be a little bit of trade-off between Is he going to try and overextend with just Zato to get that initial hit to then convert into Eddie for damage? Or is there a bit of a spacing that on a whiff he may be able to deploy the pose? Because the pose has been really a big key into the success for Zato-VaN, especially into characters that have that range to try and poke at him and try to remove Eddie as a entity on the field.
Yeah, I mean, having access to that 3P is just such a tool. That range is enough to nuke Eddie out of the way any way, shape or form. And also the defense, standing still after all that bullshit, all-in into waste burst against a wild assault, that's not bad. And now the oppose is going to do its job, maintenance time and space, just selling all the damage that Zato-1 can.
The oppose is just so deadly because you can see PataChu is looking to jump and find a little like chance to escape or looking for fuzzy jump out from some of these pressure situations. And in an attempt to take control of the turn back, you can see like just the pose there to say no, it's still Zato's turn. However, resources are being spent here, wild assaults and such. To get this wall break here, half health already gone from Zato-VaN. PataChu now slightly in control. The pose is deployed, and that is just a moment you have to give respect over to Zato.
Yeah. Just trying to buy some space, and there is the space, and there is the command grab.
Finds a lot of damage here. You can see the Sun Void come out there, breaking that wall, gonna refund that Eddie gauge, of course, as well as get that hard knockdown burst available here for PataChu, but has to be careful because of the disjointed way that Zato-VaN can run pressure. However, this time is able to find the connect. You see the aggressive burst, sees how low he has. No, I believe he was hoping off of that BRC that there would be enough time freeze to be able to link off of the 5D connect. Now trying to play it slow, waiting for Eddie to recover, but that does give space over to PataChu to push Zato-VaN in towards the corner. For Flight to escape, snatch from the sky. Red RC looking to push the damage. However, not enough, but the 5P check there, willing to bet it out. And that's going to be the first game going to Zato-VaN.
Beautiful check there, and there was a moment after that big driver that got that big counter hit. I thought that would have been enough to force the third game, but still, oof. Zato-VaN getting that first one, beautiful checks, and to be fair, the moment that Zato-VaN was just commanding the scene was beautiful. The pressure, unrelentless. There was not a single moment that you could be touching there. Let's see if he can continue the pressure. If not, if that happens, PataChu has a tough road ahead, but right now, already an early boost forced there, and the DP is blocked.
Look at this momentum. However, no hard knockdowns, so has to wait for the Eddie gauge to recover a little bit. That is an opportunity here. We can see it immediately being spent onto the tire and barrel in mid-screen. Runs up forward, claiming control of the pressure. Overhead connect. Backdash, however, a little too early there. Still though, able to find the far slash. RC to push the damage. Do we get the side saw? Here's the wall stick into the break. Zato-VaN just pushing his lead very, very comfortably. PataChu not able to really get a footing just yet.
Certainly not managing to find those moments, and Zato-VaN already putting him through the blender. That was a beautiful sequence, and another one. We're going to be seeing the full coast to coast. There is nobody yet, but there it is, and in the corner, PataChu has burst. Okay, not yet. Sunvoid. That's a lot of damage.
You can see PataChu is now looking aggressively to try and hit away Eddie, but the spacing that Zato-VaN maintains at the disjoint with the heavy slash, he's able to just make it an all-around uncomfortable situation where, you know, he may not be deploying constant mix on you, but now getting the read that PataChu is willing to interact, he's now setting himself up to punish that instead.
Yeah, and this is not looking good for PataChu. That's already 2-0 down. And the way that Zato-VaN is playing this one is locking that. See, now we said before, yeah, Sin has a range advantage and can work with that, but we are seeing the pivot, Lucy,
Oh,
out
okay.
out for PataChu.
Yeah, we've seen the Lucy once before on PataChu, and it's been quite a strong display. The word is out that the character is slightly disappointing, but definitely with the range that she can play at and some of the shutdown options she can deploy, as well as that running speed, maybe that's the vision here. Surprises me not to see the Elfeld though.
Yeah, I agree on the why not Elfel, but if PataChu says so, who are we to contradict an EVO finalist?
We're not really to contradict any player who makes a sort of decision only to observe in hindsight was the right one, but there we go. Triple contagion. Triple contagion even. Let's get those bleeds running. My goodness.
Yep. Big damage already. Oppose. Ready to take some damage, but the counter hit is there. Another one. Burst already out. And yeah, it's just movement speed. Now we're going to be seeing 3 contagions, 1 malfunction, and that's just probably going to be more than enough. Yeah, especially with that charge one.
Yeah, it's stuck against the wall that time as well for just to let the poison tick on through. Very deadly sequence indeed. Already starting off the pressure. Has Zato-VaN apprehensive quite a bit. I think he may also be in a matchup unfamiliarity type thing because we can see Zato-VaN is not too keen to press out on several situations. And before, you could really see him boldly press into the likes of Sin. And it may simply be the fact that he is very familiar with just Sin as being a strong character as well as represented by a higher level play is something you have to lock into. But Lucy doesn't see that level of shine except for right now. And that might be catching Zato-VaN off guard.
Yeah, Lucy is especially for a character that people say it's not as fulfilling, and therefore not a lot of people switched to her, decided that yeah, I'm going to main that character. So at high level, it's this maximum we've seen. So yeah, matchup unfamiliarity is a thing. Let's see if Zato-1 can get the download ready, because if not, PataChu knows how to play against Zato. That's already a known factor, and we are seeing the overdrive. Truly, they decided to go too all in on the execution, not too much on the early part. Quadruple contagion just in case. Get the damage ticking.
Yeah, especially on this knockdown situation. Look at it run away. Big, long distance counter hit there. And with the perfect finishes it off. The Lucy looking mighty strong indeed here on the hands of PataChu. That being said, right, this is a 2-game lead on the side from Zato-VaN, which means that there aren't any more losses for PataChu to potentially swap to. So he's going to have to make the full run on Lucy to secure himself that winner's side seat in Grand Finals. The way it's been playing out compared to the Sin so far, it may just do the trick. But of course, as you mentioned before, right, can Zato-VaN find the necessary download? He has a lot of space to do so with those 2 games wins, right?
Yeah, that is true. And now we are seeing a little bit of difference already. No more burst for PataChu against the wall already. Oppose command grabbing just to add salt to the wound, and a speed run of round 1 and now a set point for Zato-VaN.
Yeah, staple to when you don't know what to do against a certain matchup is just don't let them play so you don't have to deal with the matchup.
A classic, and now we're seeing Tsukechodi trying to express. No, the DP misses miserably. Zato is going to buy enough resources that it is half tension against the wall. Among Us going for the damage.
Yeah, this one is a toughie for PataChu to mount that comeback. Unfortunately, getting hit up with the drills here. He's going to have to spend the burst. Doesn't get the whiff punish. Running through, looking for an interesting mix-up, but the range was slightly off. Red RC able to check the Eddie. But the 2S comes a poking, and that is Zato-VaN securing himself that winner's side seat in Grand Finals. Not the end we've seen of PataChu just yet, as he'll be waiting in the losers finals to face off against the winner between Tsuku and Scarfed. Coming up right next.
Yeah, and I think this is a situation that we weren't expecting. We all know that Zato-1 is a very, very, very good player, but sending PataChu to losers... I know it's winners finals, but still. My. And this is why you go to these tournaments, you never know what is going to happen. As is, why I was going to go for, yeah, we already have less than 10 codes remaining, but I think that, yeah, we still have 11. Shame.
11 in the final stretch. That's
I know, it's really good, but we've been going through a really good pace and now we are slowing into a crawl. Come on guys, this is the last stretch. 3 more games. Only 3 more games. Remember, exclamation point Machino on chat. Just click claim code. And right now, we have the losers semi-final Suku versus Scarfed Season 1 special.
this is a throwback indeed. Before my time.
Yeah.
Knew that they cannot change society.
That's why I said Season 1 special.
Reflecting on themselves, they blame the beast.
With a lot of new tricks, but
Of course. See how it goes though, because like the highlight from Suku's gameplay so far has been these anti-airs, and well, if you can find that once more against Scarf, it's definitely going to be alleviating a lot of different things. But Scarf, of course, very efficient at playing on the ground as well, so that is something that Suku has to watch out for.
that's true. We need to check it. But for now, already a good amount of damage already done to Suku. Both bursts already expended. And that is a counter hit. Now we are talking Salt, which means that this is going to be almost a full one onto Chipp. That is Tyrant R.E.V.O. My god. Yeah, Chipp is now at pixel health. I know that that's not a pixel, but Chipp is made out of smoking paper, therefore, one more hit and it's done.
Ooh. Very nice. Gonna get that hard knockdown off the wall break. However, sadly, a little lacking on the chip damage, so gotta be careful here, because one major call out, that is something else. Looking for that OTG, but has Peter to spare to cover for the errors, and that's Suku brute forcing himself a first round.
Okay, okay, good anti-air. There is the DP out of Scarf. Gets the low check. Full combo there. Defense on Suku. Not as solid as we would have hoped. Grab.
Got a blade. Using a little bit of patience there, trying to call out. Oh, interesting little whiffs there going against one another. The PRC look at the control, but the throw whiff attempt. Fortunate, stuck into the corner. The PRC backwards, walking in slowly. The reaction's not working out this time. I think the brain might have been fried slightly. Still though, not a kill just yet, but this is quite the life deficit between these two players. So, given a really solid counter hit, we can see that immediately evaporate there, because it is Soul. That boy can do damage.
Yes, indeed. And now, that's a prime position for Due, but nope. That was a little bit too much telegraphed. Immediate use of that Beta Blade. Going on to the last game of this last round of this first game, and we've seen a lot of beautiful things. There is burst out of Scarf and immediately eating a big counter hit. We are talking with Soul, therefore there is onto the corner. It's another one, still not there, but doesn't matter. Look at that life defense. There's the last hit. Immediately against the wall, and not even the Tyrant R.E.V.O. Perfect for Suku.
Beautiful start here, but now it's a question of can he bring it home. Of course, we've seen several players make the adaptation back and forth, and with how tight some of these rounds do go out, it's, you know, I mean, at the same time, it's kind of just the name of the game when you play Chipp is you ride this razor's edge of being a character that's so gifted with all these tools, but should somebody, and especially that somebody being a hefty damage dealer, get a hold of you and get themselves a really big counter hits to start things off with, you suddenly regret a lot of decisions.
Nice pressure driver. Scarf just going full ham. There is a small DP out of Suku, trying to buy some space. Now both players checking themselves a little bit. Another DP there. This is a big trade of resources right now. Just a little bit there, a little bit of chip damage here and there. No big sequence, and that is the big.
Nice little mix up there, but see the burst come out from Suku, the believer, but unfortunately gets clipped up, and there is the leaf grab. Always when you least expect it. Typically at the end though, to finish things off. As now Scarf 1 round away from tying up the score. So you see interesting little hits coming out from Suku here. Some small hits. Nothing too major yet, but the way this damage has been building up, should he find himself a bigger punish, that should surely spell the end of Scarf for this round.
Certainly, because we see Suku still having access to one tension, but Scarf is not going to let Suku play at all. There's the reset. Immediately going for the super. Going for damage instead of that. There's the Roman, and that's going to be more than enough. Then that combo always takes me for a while.
Alright, nicely done. Might be a case now that Scarf has warmed up to just a bit of that Suku style, or just in general might have been needing just a slight warm-up, having to sit a game out. You never know with these momentum type things.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Nice big counter hit, and justly so, using the burst there to not hold too much more damage. However, finds himself another counter hit, and just like that, look at the red bar. Could have definitely been a whole lot worse if it was any closer to the corner here. Just narrowly escapes from the corner. That gets back thrown, scooped up yet again. Red RC to push the damage a little further, and there's the wall break. Just 3 clean hits was all that Suku needed.
I mean, yes, cheap, but also getting those big counter hits, those big DPs, a lot of damage. That's all just has access to, and now Chipp is just going to be the pestering little fly that he is, and just keeps sending 1,000 cuts onto Suku, but nope. It's a grab onto the corner and the pickup.
Shimmying, spacing apart, using the Alpha Blade to escape, right? Able to latch onto the rope. Off to the side. DP baited, and okay, opting to go for the burst. Could have also let it go, but sees the life total that he has now. Base the YRC, immediately going into the Tyrant Rave, trying to push as much damage as possible down to a pixel health, actually. This makes bursting a more preemptive action, but unfortunately, attempting something gets duffed in the chest. And that's going to be Suku taking the lead back once more, 2-1 currently.
What a way to just stifle the burst out of Scarves, and yes, there was no chance at the end to go for any burst shape or form. So 2-1 for Suku in a, and we've seen the ones that Scarves managed to win is just because it's mixing Suku out of his world, and Suku just needs to get one solid hit. Like this one, because that's the burst out of Scarf, and unless Scarf just managed to play a perfect game, that's just damage and damage piling up, and she can't play with that. It's not built to play with trading damage.
Red Blade forcing the escape, overhead block, PRC used to extend but make it safe, but able to find the PRC, and there's the wild throw. However, not enough to get the kill, but down to the final hit, the DP is baited out, opting to just go for the burst, wants to keep it safe and secure, snatches him from the sky, and that's going to be Suku now on set point here. Though lacking on the burst gauge, but has the room of an entire round should it go to the case where he needs it back. Already has him trapped in the corner, looking to just FD to create a little bit of space and run up 2K2D, but the DP cross cut here, calling it out, finds a pickup on the dash over JH, splattered against the wall, however, not enough meter for a hard knockdown, and the damage is just not matching compared to the amount of hits that Suku can get, and the type of hits too.
That's true, but now Scarf has a chance of having both access to boost and full tension. Just gonna pile on the damage and getting that positive bonus once again. But we all know that Tsukui just needs one more hit. Command grab, that's going to be enough. So we are going to the next one. Both players having access to boost is huge. We'll need to see who uses it first, and that's going to be Tsuku. No more defenses, that's not in the form of DP. And now Scarf. There are no more generic defense.
Wow, staring each other down, but it's going to be the sweep coming out from Suku, maintaining control. Fakes the overhead, goes into the low. Setting up all kinds of crazy situations. The OTG, the Beta Blade, just get me out of this situation. Has RC available, finds the 2K2D, sets up the rope. Fortunately not able to block out that very devious mix to Scarf's disposal. Going for the reset here. Oh,
What?
that's not good.
No, and also, what the actual fuck? Why at this moment? This was getting good. If not good,
Dear.
even better. Oh my fucking god.
Wait,
Who the cute?
They're both just there.
What the actual fuck then happened?
It's just unlucky disconnect. Because there was yeah, they're both in the room. It's just a strive moment. They were going at it pretty strong, and then it just it crapped out. It crapped out.
Too much awesome for this game.
Too much energy, too hype. Well, see, the bad news would be if this is an omen for any further problems. We do not have any further fallback sets to alleviate the time issues. So they're just gonna have to hop in, and we just gotta hope it works out. Otherwise, it's gonna be a podcast for a minute.
Okay, decision has been made at least. So we are going back to the game if it works. Cross your fingers because strive. So we are going to go to the last round. So both players are just going to trade round apiece and sudden death.
See, what worked out pretty nicely for this is the fact that they went into the last round of the game before disconnected with burst available. So there's not going to be any sort of concern of trying to get a perfect game state set up.
That's true.
I know. 3 touches, and we can count it. Okay, so it's been 3 touches. We can count how many it's going to take for Scarf to clean up around quickly.
Okay.
Okay, interesting.
Now we are going. That's an interaction. Yep. Another styro. That's 2 interactions. Drop, and that's the third one. Third. I would say 4 to be more or less, because there's a now, and now we are playing.
Yeah, and there's already a big counter hit to go with it. Burst being deployed early here. 5P check on the Rekka there. Gonna get the wild throw. Just look at the damage. The Beta Blade whiffed, and wow, that's that's the way to go out, I guess. Well, unlucky.
Yeah, it was sudden death, like a Russian roulette thing. It happens. The only thing that we can say that it just happens, because we've seen a beautiful game and then to end it like that, hurts a little bit.
I mean, it could have happened before. I think it's just, considering the way it was playing out, where there was just a lot of back and forth interaction, and that final sequence there was ready to go down. But damn. I mean, to be fair though, actually, it's not just Tsuku getting some random ass counter hits, just leading to massive soul damage. We did see a very, very clean call out there on the Rekka series. We're getting that 5P, and then the confirm to follow with it. So definitely the lights are on upstairs.
Indeed. Okay, so we're waiting a little bit. PataChu is ready to rock. With that scene, this is going to be all a French affair. going to be good.
Yeah, a little surrogate father versus son action here. It's because we don't see Soul enough. I'm very curious to see how this plays out against the range of Sin. Because you do just gotta have to run in there because you want to get right in there, right up in their grill to start deploying those close/far/pressure sequences. You can see the control that PataChu is able to establish with 5K alone, posing a bit of a threat there for Tsuku, and maintaining his back towards the wall there, chucking, put him back in there. You aren't liberated from this area just yet.
No, but now you are getting the side switch, getting out of there. PataChu managing to get a DP in return, and this one the punish also. Burst out by PataChu. Very explosive game. I'm going for the fuller, and we are going for
Cemetery.
the command grab super. The one that nobody ever sees, except now. So you can all say that you've seen this move in a tournament.
Tsuku thankfully bring out the full cryptid sequence here. We get to see a rare character along with a never before seen special, super, and already dealing huge amounts of damage here against PataChu, working already on a very comfortable first game win.
Yeah,
getting a beautiful whiff punish, has a lot of meters to play with. I think that is a very dead PataChu. Just no, little drop there. Spoke too soon, commentary curse.
Yeah, little bit drop there, which means the PataChu is going to have full access, but yeah, but Soul just a touch, knockdown, 6H, no joy there, or you get that burst in that very specific frames, or you are cooked, and that's what happened. So Tsuku is going to go 1-0 over PataChu right now.
If that keeps up, but so far he has been. It's not like he's been dominated, because typically we see that coming out from when opponent plays into PataChu, where they're. Oh wow, that's a quick Lucy swap. We are not feeling the Sin today.
No, it seems like not. So we're going to go for a little bit more of range. Well, I don't think that's more range, but at least faster.
Oh, she's definitely faster. I think the range is a little further on Lucy, because still there's quite a bit of Sin's kit that works very well being right up in your grill. Yeah, just look at the speed of side already, just nicely able to run across the screen. Sadly, PataChu does have a penchant for willing to interact, right, just to leverage his knowledge of the game overall, but sometimes this timing can just be a little off and you can hold some really big counter hits. However, that hasn't deterred him just yet. Big old plus frames, trying to backdash away to clear a little bit of space, but still being escorted to the corner slowly but surely. Reversing the situation, gets eaten up by the DP, throw text, but just look at the range there.
Yep, trying to put a wall of fire, but that's not enough. Taking the throw, trading there. Good defense, but there is the hit. Eagle going for the, a little bit of everything. Triple contention, no more tension, and that's going to be, no! Misses at the end, but just a slight touch with that cable is going to be enough.
Thought that wire strong indeed.
Yep.
It's very interesting that that players have found like their standard go-to sequences with the hack, right? Is you're either going to go triple contagion with, or triple or quadruple contagion, and if not quadruple, you're going to throw in that malfunction. And otherwise, in pressure, you're just going to make sure to get the meter penalty going out. But once again, Heavy Mob Cemetery makes its beautiful return here and just absolutely killing Lucy. As Tsuku did near perfect there, is one round away from extending his lead over PataChu here, making it a 2-0 affair. At the 5P to check the jump out of temp, the burst used to create a little bit of space to try and play once more. Good blocks on the cross-up, patience on the run-up block, however, not patient enough, trapped in the corner, has the shock ready to go.
Yep, and that state is over, there's no more shocks, and cannot recover it safely. But just finding a couple of free hits, there is another one, but still not enough to go into full sequence. Oh, but there's the air grab, gets the shock state, applies it, burst out by Tsuku. Trading in the air, 2K to D, a little bit more space for Tuku. Gets the party rolling, not yet, there's not wall clap but against the wall for Sol, and catches, PataChu catches the feint.
Very nicely done indeed, able to equalize the score on the board here. Lucy definitely putting in some work here, but I'm really curious as to what sort of the major difference here is. The fact that there isn't a resource to slow you down per se, right? Like you do have to have that setup. Wait, to stop that Genta. But yeah, there's not a resource to really have slow you down in certain moments. But of course, that means that your setup is well, it's a setup for damage rather than front loaded.
Yeah. Okay, so we are seeing already an early burst out of Suku, but players playing a little bit more footsies than normal. 2K2D into a revolver that now onto Sol's pressure, but just that moment of range enough for PataChu to go back on the offensive.
Slight wrong guess there, which is normal to deploy. You see the whiff punish and all that care that PataChu took to try and push Suku to the corner is going to have him landed in the corner instead. Does try to go for the cross up, but the IB setting up for the perfect distance to get the back throw. Both players trading a few hits here and there.
And
reach for the sky.
No.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah, the OTG 6-8. I always think of, no. Okay, yeah. PataChu putting Suku onto the corner, but they're just blocking for now. It's working just fine. Eating a little bit cheap, doesn't matter truly. Side switch for PataChu. Once again, going for a corner carry. Nope, it's a 2K2D. Now it's PataChu going into the corner. Fafner block. Positive for PataChu. No blocking. Beautiful there. Beautiful trade-off. Throws another one for Suku. The back throw incident is real. Do it again indeed.
On the approach, but the JS zone denial there. Looking for a quick hit with the blicky there. Interesting little whiff punish there coming on. A tragic situation of extending your hurt box, just prime for the punishment. Albert stops over to the other side, has Suku close to the wall, blocks the 6H, able to find the punish, and just like that, using the hack, sets up the triple contagion. It's a virus I'm not all too familiar with here, but it does find the finishing blow, as both players are poised now to take the lead over the other in the set. First touch goes here to PataChu. Drag him slowly but surely towards the corner. Finds the 2K punish there, but eats a DP for his troubles.
Yeah, those extra hurt boxes are not helping PataChu now. And Suku finding a big counter hit, going for the Tyrant Rev. That's a shit ton of damage onto the Lucy. Positive bonus for Suku, gets the grab with big pressure, while another one and DP, job's done. 2-1 for Suku.
Yeah, going for a throw sequence there, especially at the last one, just checkmating PataChu out of the possibility of getting a DP. But, you know, at least the next hit had to kill, but it's heavy DP. It's going to do more than enough to kill. So PataChu committing to the Lucy here. I mean, we did see him being able to win one game with it and getting close enough to be able to try and challenge to take the lead in the set. So maybe with a couple interactions going his way, we can see the Lucy take the set. Having to use the early burst, however, does end up putting Suku into the corner. Big whiff punish, but that's going to be the burst deployed. You're trying to get the momentum back. The key has been to maintain control, put him in the corner, and sacrifice resources to make sure that it's your opponent that's stuck in the corner, not yourself.
Yeah, and now we are seeing big recovery there by Suku. That's going to the full combo onto the Lucy. In the corner, 6 is missing for probably not much, but this still means that PataChu is near the corner. The side switch is still not enough. Getting out of shock. What the actual range is that?
That's a
Quadruple contagion. Yeah, that is an anti-air. Quadruple contagion for the win. And oh my god, the range on top.
Close enough. Welcome back, Jersey Rage, A.B.A.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the shimmy, he's just waiting for some kind of throw tech attempt to come out, but the patience on Suku only lasted so much. We see the DP in a big whiff, standing there waiting with a fully charged swipe there, while the Salt pushing the damage as far as possible. Unfortunately, the gravity scaling going to be kicking in quite heavily there. The air throw finds, oh, and there it is, the throw whiff, big damage going into the contagion. One malfunction. Comes the counter hit, doesn't even need the contagion, more than enough to bleed on out. PataChu now tying up the set 2 apiece here with a chance to move it back into the grand finals to rematch off against Zato-VaN with the Lucy, no less.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Not the character that we were expecting, but it's working. And also, we are stopping that wave's agenda, which I think is also good. Question mark.
Duel 1.
Any counter agenda posting, unless it's your character, is always good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, onto this last game already. Hitting the first throw. Oh, big contact on the 2K. On the 2D. And manages to evade the aerial approach. Gets the confirm onto the corner. There's the pressure. Shock is going to get waved. Bandit onto more damage. PataChu into the corner. It's a hit. There's the Fafnir. Heavy DP against the wall. Tyrant Rave.
Look at the damage that's being pushed here. There is a full stick of butter available on the side of PataChu, but unfortunately it's not going to be able to be used out in the end. So Tsuku once again on that set point has burst available. PataChu not too far off from his own, but we've seen him being able to make this comeback from this dire situation. However, the early cash out already being deployed here by Tsuku to push the damage lead as much as possible. This does close out the range at which PataChu can take some of these risks. How much damage can he hold on slight errors there? And Tsuku already willing to leverage this life lead to constantly challenge on everything. Tries to bait out the burst, no biting there from PataChu just yet. Plus frames with the 2K challenge. Throw.
Not good, and the burst is back for Suku, and PataChu still haven't using there. So we're going to say shock state on Suku, burst ready to go for both players, full bar of butter, and there it is. Oh, it's the burst at the end.
Yeah, good patience. Oh, just narrowly out of the range. Going into the hack. Quick reset and just let the DP rock. It's not going to be enough. And that is Tsuku taking it over PataChu. Going into the grand finals on loser's side to face off against Zato-VaN. It is going to be the Zato Soul matchup to close things out.
Back-to-back classics. We've seen Soul, Chipp, and now Soul versus Zato. Season 1, welcome back. We were missing ya. Okay. Also, another important thing is that we only have 6 codes left to claim. Yay!
Good moves, gang.
Yeah, good move. So you know, only 6 codes. 6 people. If you haven't claimed your, please go for that.
Yeah, this is the last set of this evening, so this is the last time you'll hear us talking about it before we lock in on this action. Both players are ready to rock. We see Zato-VaN versus Tsuku, Zato versus Soul, and of course, as always, a matchup of momentum. Can Tsuku get in Zato-VaN's grill and make it all about himself, setting up these very gnarly pressure situations where one wrong step there from Zato-VaN can cost a lot of damage.
And we are seeing a very early burst out of Suku. Trying to run in a little bit too much. It's going to get all the damage that Zato can do it against wall already. Not going for any choice, just going to go for let's just command a little bit more damage. Among Us, but that's not enough. Remember everybody, Soul is a very chunky boy.
But it's more than enough to put him in a very dire situation. See already the aggressive opening there from Tsuku, but immediately the challenge from Zato-VaN lets nothing open. No fake resets. We're going to go full damage against the wall. The Sun Void being deployed there. Gonna get that hard knockdown. Half health already gone. And Eddie back on the field. The drill's deployed. Good block so far, but finds the low. The burst is baited. We'll be dealing a gnarly bit of damage here. We're gonna go to the Amogus. Surprising to see instead of the Sun Void. Because now we're in a little bit of an exposed situation where Zato-VaN is playing it slower due to not having Eddie. Does BRC to correct underneath, denying Suku the jump in attempt, but the JS is going to connect. Finds the RC into the low there, pushing some damage, but the 5P challenge immediately, but the invite held not connecting, but this time it will find its mark just before the 6HS.
Yeah, if the first invite hell does not work, try the second one. You can always invite them to hell back to back. Jacker, do you mind holding on the fort for a moment? I need to go to the bathroom.
Sure.
I'm going to be right back as soon as possible. Sorry about that, everybody.
You're stuck with me now. Here we go. Game number 2. And so far, we've seen the daring callouts from Zato-VaN working out quite nicely. And Suku struggling to find a little bit of a footing here in the matchup, but just sends it in. We know about oppose. We know how it can just eat up hits, but what it can't eat is this throw. Eddie's deployed. Has to watch out, of course. The Gunflame being sent out to try and see if maybe Eddie oversteps a little bit and gets scooped up and deleted. Just like that. The patience from Zato-VaN being rewarded very nicely here. Eddie unsummon, Eddie summon. Swap over to the other side. The tap does connecting. Just look at the damage being pushed. Gets the side swap as well very appropriately. Sun Void right in the mid screen. It just keeps on going. Invite hell meaty. Swaps over to the other side. Which way do you have to block? Suku has no clue. Trapped in the corner. Trying to survive the pressure for the time being, but gets tagged on the low. And this is the strength of Zato right here. Just to keep you in this unending pressure sequence where he is constantly redirecting which way you have to block while Eddie, the ever-faithful servant, is there to keep you tied down. Already we see the 6B deploy the oppose, the JK. However, Eddie is gone. Breaking the law, trying to back away, create a little bit of space. But if you these 5P checks, at some point, Suku is going to deploy a frame trap. He's going to get himself a very nice counter hit. But until then, we see Zato-VaN constantly just checking him away from the situation. Catches the backdash with the close slash. Go into tire. Oh, wow, this just kills. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, indeed, the damage. I am back. I hope Jacker hasn't been too much for you, because now we are double prepared for trouble.
Sandwich situation, the oppose is out, making it something that Suku just has to cleanly respect. No jump shenanigans. BRC backwards. Looking for the throw, but the distance was a little misread there by Zato-VaN. Look at the punish that comes out. Good throw tech. Now an opportunity to try and find the deployment on Eddie. Does find a moment. 6P. Eddie's right there in the face. Opposed, but there's the shark command grab.
That's not good. Just buying a little more space. Atsuku's actually on full stick of butter. That's a very dangerous situation to be. The pressure is there. Suku trying to find the moment, because this is a one-touch moment for both sides, and it's going to be a touch for Zato-VaN. The converts the frog against the wall, and that's going to be enough. 2-0 for Zato-VaN.
What a call out. That 6P just as the bandit revolver was coming out there, just clipping him clean and finishing off the process there. Zato-VaN now 2-0, game away from securing the bag, winning himself a nice salty title here. Suku, of course, has demonstrated with the right touches, the big counter hits, he can most certainly take a round very quickly off Zato-VaN. However, that is a easier said than done feat. Zato-VaN has expertly demonstrated how in control he can be and just how willing he is to challenge.
Now we're seeing the bandit Bringer getting a little bit of a scare onto Zato-VaN, but not enough burst for Zato-VaN. Beautiful control of Eddie trying to bait the gunplay. Oppose not enough, which means that Suku have full range to act.
Stagger pressure, a little bit of patience coming out here from Zato-VaN. Realize the situation with the low health he's at. Good checks by Suku to prevent Eddie from being deployed and taking over the momentum, and just like that, it's going to be a very secure round there by Suku. The vision is there. The vision is live.
Vision is indeed there now. Zato-1 putting the good under pressure, but Suku better blocks than most of us. Standing there, gets the Van Bringer. Tries to force the damage around. Oh! Well,
I think this is the way
Still
the BRC
going.
worked out. Safe DP. Oh my goodness. Big damage. And this is the kind of momentum Suku needs to maintain a grip on should he want to get these games off against Zato-1. Zato-1 going for that final Hail Mary burst on the Pixel Live. But the Bandit Bringer is going to finish the deal. Suku, hashtag not free, puts one game on the board.
indeed. So, 2-1. Suku is starting the revolution of the loser side. We saying, no, we are going to go the full 6k, full 5 at least. I'm going to force the reset. The reverse sweep starts now for Suku.
Hopefully it does. However, with the 2-game lead that Zato-1 has now won,
Yeah.
he has a lot of room to counter-adapt. We can already see a little bit of aggression favoring quite nicely, and especially how Suku is prioritizing, trying to just snipe away Eddie, and then capitalize on the fact that, sadly, Zato doesn't do a whole lot without his little goober.
Yep. I mean, it's a classic 2 versus 1, but you never want to be 1v1. There's advantage in numbers, you know. Hey,
Yank
good
their opponent, that's the style.
Hey, good sequence. Already gonna put Suku onto the corner, oppose there, trying to push it, and there it is. Big damage. Command grab also. They are already giving us a present already, and now big counter hit. Not going to capitalize, but doesn't matter. That damage is already there. Suku doesn't have that much life, and there is another one. And set point for Zato-1.
Yeah, you can see a similar adjustment being made by Zato-1 as I think we saw in the PataChu set, where instead of focusing on mix-ups, he's focusing more on punishing interaction attempts, especially into Eddie. We see that Suku is definitely looking to just try and challenge and make sure that Eddie's off the field. To that extent, we see Zato-1 taking a bit of a distance and letting the big disjointed normals in his kit do the rest.
But now we are seeing Suku just being sole, dealing a lot of damage. Okay, yellow out of Zato-1, trying to buy some space. Frog also there. So we are trading Eddie, but no, eating a 6S. That's not good. That's going to be the full combo. Truly heavy DP, and that's going to be enough.
Oh my goodness, but just the aggression in Suku's eyes to constantly push on forward, willing to sacrifice any bit of health, because he knows with one solid counter hit, he takes that round just like this. And that's going to have to be the burst from Zato-1 to try and survive. Push on forward, the opposed on the field, waiting out slowly, but gets mixed up in the end. Opting for the burst, feels a pretty good position here. We see the fly, but the 6P rears its head once again, and just this is the big number. Maybe a heavy mob cemetery to finish things off. It is gonna go 2-2.
My goodness, indeed. Suku just ruthless aggression all the way, and as we've said, this is the last game.
You're giga dead.
Pretty much.
Very true. Yeah, so last game before the reset, or for Zato-1 to close the circle and win the bracket. We still see him being able to maintain a bit of control there, as well as taking entire rounds, but something has clicked in Suku where he's able to just get the steam engine running and nothing is slowing it down. The 2D able to beat out the 2S. Look at this little Q combo, drag him into the corner. Finds the IBFD to create a lot of space.
Okay, and also trying to get some damage, but the edit meter is gone. It's regenerating fast, but that's not enough for Zato, and that's a lot of damage already taken. More Eddie has been conjured, trying to get some hits, and that is the counter hit, but there's a burst still on Suku, and that's going to be used there, but the damage is done.
Damage done. Unfortunately, eating these resets. Surprised to not seeing RC to try and finish things off. PRC to make it safe. Low slash. Hold this pressure for a little bit. And there's the Fafnir reset point here for Suku. On a landslide, no less.
Certainly. First 2 games of download, the third 4-5 to kill. Another reset, another grab. Okay, this one is going to be evaded by Zato-1. gonna start dealing some damage. Beautiful combo up there. And there's the Sunboy. We're going to be receiving Eddie.
The screen deployed the stabs. Tsuku looking for the opportunity to get rid of this Eddie. Despite the pressure, there's the DP. Get me out. RC maintains strong control right in his face. The 5P bash out. Unfortunately, I'm going to look at the 6P, but there's the DP once more. Gunflame beating out the 6P attempt. The burst is still available. We see the 5P checking the Fafnir. Slowly but surely bleeding away at the health there. Nice anti-air. Both players are definitely looking to hang on to their burst, but sees the red miss its mark. And that is a very critical burst block there from Zato-VaN, now on set point with burst available, but can Tsuku just steal the entire momentum? That is a big starter. Unfortunately, drops the combo.
Yeah, final game, final round, and Tsuku just... I think that dug his own grave a little bit too much. Last round, somebody is going to be used, going to reset Eddie. The pressure is unrelentless for Zato and already against the wall. Only going to break it, but that positive bonus is still good enough.
Right, jump on forward. Knows the vibe now. This time not getting anti-air, just getting a regular throw out to beat the oppose. The flight of the 6P, 5P of Wisp, but used the PRC, the 2K to check the Eddie, but doesn't get punished in the process. Wild Assault moving on forward, both players dancing back and forth, not looking to overextend too far against the other. Despite the life disadvantage that Tsuku's at, one good hit can instantly swing things around. There's that back throw. You're trapped in the corner now. YRC does create a little bit of space to run forward. The 6HS, unfortunately, not bouncing off the ground to get a combo from it. Okay, finds a low. Damage is starting to pile up. Deflect shield opposed, the patience, but the leapfrog connecting. The burst is still available, but there's not a whole lot of health for him to survive, and the one opposed hit is going to blindside him before he can utilize the burst. That is a 3-2 finish for Zato-VaN, being crowned this week's SaltyEU Guilty Gear Strive number 152 champion.
And what a finals we've seen, my god. The potential of that reverse sweep. Tsuku just rolling it in, just sending those big haymakers, but at the end, Zato, and I think a little bit on a Hail Mary, just saying, I'm just going to send it. If you can block it, we're going to have a lot of trouble, but if not, that's going to be the end, and the end has it been. And I don't know how many, I don't know if Zato had that, I think Zato probably won a little bit of Salty, but I don't think won too many. Can't remember. We'll need to check. But either way, congrats to everybody that's been here participating on this tournament. It's been a lot of hype. Man, what a finals.
Yep. So that's it for today. It ran pretty late, unfortunately due to the issues, but you know, what can you do? Strive was Strive. More Strive actually than normally. But alas, we got through it. And that means, yeah, you can see the top 8 image right on the stream. I just put it up there. And I think we're gonna stall much longer. I think we all kind of wanna go to bed, or you know, whatever we're doing at this hour. I'm kind of looking for someone to raid you guys. You know, if someone has to chill, you know, you guys have the time right now. Obviously, as always.
Well, I am still here around. I have Twitter, probably on there. Go check me if you want. If not, shame on you. Apart from that, I like doing commentary, so yeah. Go me.
Go Lapsus. On the fundamental side, this weekend, little offline action. We're hosting Strive, so tune in for that. And if some of you want to make the trek down to central Netherlands, we're happy to receive you. I think that the Strive players would be very excited for that. So consider it. Otherwise, come say hi. Nevertheless, hope you have all enjoyed.
Yeah. Hey, go to ZF. ZF is cool.
You haven't even been yet. How do you know?
I mean, I've seen pictures, and you shill it.
That's-
So yeah,
true.
for me, you are the stamp of approval, and I know I can rely on it. So
okay.
you know, like you my I trust your opinion on most things. So you know.
You didn't have to add that last part.
So you know, ZF is cool. I mean, I want to visit eventually, but like you know, not much I can do. I want to visit the land of the funny language.
Yeah, one of these days.
Exactly, one of these days. But yeah, I prepared a raid to Nuberheimer. You know, he's still grinding every character to Vanquisher ranked thing. So say hello. And with that, yeah, we're not gonna stall much longer. I'm gonna flash the Twitters real quick. And with that, tomorrow Xrd, see me there as always. And other than that, yeah, next week. Actually, no, on Saturday, there is the silver event. That's actually pretty important. I should probably shield that. We have the oh sorry, that's EU East. We have EU East. Europe East, the Arc Motor Silver event. So for anyone in the EU East region, we get the Starter GG page in announcements posted. And anyone who's in EU East, sign up, get the AWT points, right? The season is, I believe, ending, or like we reached like the later part of it, so points are becoming a bit more spare, especially with the new system. So y'all should get some points, farm them up. It's gonna be on Saturday, 7 p.m. So not standard Salty time, but we gotta acclimate to that. And the EU West, I believe, is gonna be hosted by Decknut. And so check his Twitter probably. And with that, that's it. See you all on Saturday and tomorrow. Bye bye.
Peace.